Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so excited to have you here. Rob, you are right in the middle of all these incredible goddesses. Like, look at you on my screen. I should take a picture. You're right there. And you are surrounded by goddesses. Lucky you. Lucky you. Welcome to my day. I get to talk to all these people. Hello, Colleen. Welcome. All right, so we're going to start this. This is a very exciting day for those of you that do not know. We have an incredible following on the Top Performance Success Planner. And that's just what one of them looks like. And then the other one is upside down on my desk. And this is what it looks like. We're really excited. Thank you. Oh, you got yours already. A nice job, Janet. We're excited because I love doing things. If you haven't noticed, I like doing things with other people. I'm a solopreneur that likes to hang out with other people. And one of the the coolest things to my day is getting to talk to people, finding out what they want. I get to hang out with self-funding, groovy people. And all of this whole planner is filled with the most incredible quotes by a lot of people that are here today. So I'm going to say hello. Welcome to the celebration of this incredible night. Guess what? We do it every year, and you're welcome back. The nice thing about planners is they go, and then they come, and then they go, and then they come. We're going to talk a little more about the planner, but I know right now we always start our party with a party. And this is Emily, and Desi, and Dorothea are all running the back of the crew. So if you don't like how it works, I'll give you their personal phone number later. No, kidding. I'm in a chipper mood tonight. I'm super excited. It was a lot of work to put this together because it's not like a book that you just do every year. Because guess what? The calendar changes, everything changes. Even people that have had quotes that want to put a quote in every year, things change in their life. They do a new video, they do new stuff. So it really is this really cool celebration of people coming together collaboratively. And the quotes are personal development, business development, sharing. But the coolest thing about the quotes is when you hover over one of the quotes and it pops up on your phone. What I really love is there's an arrow that pops up on your phone as well. And you can send it anywhere in the world. I mean, anywhere in the world. Someone's email, text, use it as a screensaver. It is like super cool. It's like having like Instagram on, speed dial. But let's get this party started the way Emily likes to start her parties. And she has created a reel for us. So Miss Emily Bassett, the Chief Marketing Officer, let's start this. Welcome to the planner party, and we are going to party because you know what? Being successful is really fun. Being successful, being organized, planning your success, making your way, no matter what you are doing, when you actually actualize something by a plan that you've intended to, it is super fun. It makes you want to go party. So tonight we are going to have an incredible time. But I want to tell you a little bit about this planner. Why? Well, I don't know. I was 31 years old. I had this incredible planner. It went out of print. I was frustrated, couldn't get it anymore. And I said, I'm going to do one of those one day. And if you've ever said that to yourself, be careful because it's going to happen at some point. So a few years later, I would say, what was happening for me in my business is I was actually hitting really incredible numbers. I was having incredible success. I mean, yay. I'm sure you've had that feeling. It's a good feeling. So I was doing that. And I had a lot of people come up and say, how did you do it? 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 I was, by gracious, been recognized 48 times in Success Magazine for growth. And so you get that question a lot. And I was like, I just didn't have the bandwidth to get back to everybody. But I'm like, you know what? I love planners. And you know what? I use planners and I use it in a really special kind of cool way that got me to where I wanted to go. I'm like, let's just duplicate that because duplication's cool. And I put honestly everything I do. I didn't leave anything out in this planner. It is a top performance reverse engineer, going to get you to where you want to go because of the verbiage I've used. It's going to make you think a little differently and it's going to tweak you over into that place of high level efficiency and success. Even if you're not in business, you're going to go, woo, that was kind of easy. So I hope you have fun with this planner. I hope you succeed with this planner. I know you will if you use it. And we're going to spend some time together tonight. And we're just gonna have some fun. Let's just have some fun, listen to some cool people doing some cool things. So congratulations on you for being and or getting and or both this planner this year. All right. Super good. Super great. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about how tonight's going to go. You have a lot of treats in store for you. First of all, I want to let you know that at the end of this party, we are going to be gifting away an abundance basket. And in that basket, there's over $3,000 worth of incredible gifts. Honestly, it is jam-packed full. We're going to have speakers, and speakers are going to be putting free links and free gifts and all sorts of goodies in the chat. Also, their information so you can talk more. We're going to have Rowena List is actually traveling right now in Africa. And so lucky us, she is one of the top professional organizers, honestly, globally. And obviously she's globetrotting. And she's going to be, we've got some tips, some recorded tips that she's going to be sharing, as well as Kathy Holt as well. You're going to be getting some incredible leadership tips from Kathy Holt. And I mean, I'll just tell you about Rowena now. So yeah, she's a professional speaker. She has spanned the globe. Her last name is List and she's a professional organizer. Do I need to say anything else? This woman was born for this, right? But she's known as the Declutter Clean, and she has an incredible gift that's going into that abundance basket. And for any of you, just so you know now, if you want to spend 15 minutes with her, you can, absolutely free. Kathy Holt is also going to be piping in with these incredible tips throughout the speakers that we have this evening. And a lot of you probably know Kathy Holt, as well as Rowena. They're part of the 262. They've hit the summit in the stages. They speak quite often. And Kathy Holt, she's an incredible change agent. She has been within women's leadership. She's done a lot of work with NGOs, the United Nations, for 40 years. She actually wrote the foreword to the 262 book. And she works with women in leadership or women that don't know that they want to be in leadership and become a change agent. She's also gifting an incredible gift that's going into that abundance basket at the end of the night. And you're going to be able to spend some time with her privately. So we're going to have a number of speakers tonight. We're going to have a number of gifts tonight. We're going to have some conversation. We're going to have some fun. Now look, this is called Top Performance. And sometimes people go, planners, how much fun is that? Well, I want to tell you a little bit of stuff. From my, not that I don't talk about brain health every day now, but I was very much on stage talking about brain health for a long time. And when I put the planner together, I used to get this question, and you might have this question, and it might be something that you've already asked me or that you think about, because I do get people that ask me about digital planners versus paper planner, and why, goodness woman, would you in this time and era put out a paper planner when everybody is going digital? So you know what, I had a lot of statistics and I thought I'm going to pull up the most recent statistics. So an hour ago, I pulled up even more statistics that confirmed, because I've been doing this planner for a long time. And I just want to tell you some of the things and why having a, first of all, planner at all, but why a paper planner is so much better for you. Now, most of you and most top performers, if you study them, will do both. You'll have an interplay relationship. I'm not telling you not to put something in your calendar so it pops you up in a meeting so you know to get off, those kind of things, but to run everything digital or to run everything paper. So we know So I'm just going to kind of go through some new things that I pulled up this evening, but it has been highly documented when people have high periods of anxiety or they're in a time of high stress, that literally writing things down gives them a sense of control. And there's nothing wrong with having a sense of control. When things are feeling out of control, they're in a place of abundance. That's why you'll see people write notes or write lists. One of the most powerful formulas when people are going through difficult time or too much going on is to write in a journal. I mean, it's just very well documented. So by writing things down, you have a sense of control. It activates messages to the back of your brain that removes things. There's a word that starts with O that kind of relates to flooded. I don't say it because as soon as you say it, by the way, neuronally it starts to happen. So don't say that word anymore. But it controls that. So when you are looking at something like a schedule, organizing, planning, writing out your goals, those kind of things, by writing, it actually kicks off those beautiful neurons at the back of your brain, and you are more focused, you have more clarity, and the level of attainment of that is 33% and higher. When you write things down, you remember. It is not the same as typing. And it's interesting because I was talking to someone and they were like, when's the last time you actually remember writing out a paragraph, right? A lot of times we don't even write out on birthday cards anymore. The other thing is in terms of digital is the reason why writing, it's focus, it's memory, it's concentration. You have a higher level of completing what you're writing, but also remembering what you're writing. So as you write, you remember. There's a signal that kicks off that removes the barrier that digital creates. When you put something in digital, there's like a barrier, and they call it a screen. We call it a screen between you and what it is that you're writing, you and what it is that you're doing, and that breaks the emotional code. It breaks the emotional relationship or attachment to that. Not to say when you type out your goals that you don't want to attain them, but by writing it down, it stimulates certain brain cells and it kicks off an emotional relationship with what it is that you're trying to obtain. You probably have all written a list and you feel really good about just writing the list. You haven't even done anything yet, but you're like, I got a list, I got it handled, I know what I'm doing. It's one of the things that I do, even with myself that works out of a paper planner. I look at my paper planner at the end of the night. I'm kind of like, I have this thing about living in the cream. It's a top performance thing. And I make sure that I reevaluate the things that I absolutely need to do the next day. And they're in my book, but I take a piece of paper and I actually write out those 2 or 3 things. And I feel like they're already semi-accomplished. So that's why a paper planners, if you're into economics, have sailed. They're like the sales of a paper planner. And one of the places that they're the highest, that they sell the most beyond any capacity you can imagine, is in Japan. Now people are like, Japan is the capital of digital, right? And they sell more paper planners and more journals per capita. There is something very mindful. They call a paper planner business mindfulness. And so I just want to encourage you, if you don't, I'm not telling you have to buy mine. I'm telling you to just start putting pen to paper. And even if you have digital, to start to have a relationship with pen and paper again, and you will have more clarity, more focus, really less stress, and you will actually have a higher yield of following through on what it is that you want to do. So that's exciting. The other thing it does is they say that people that run from a paper planner are less late to meetings, which is interesting because we think with that little reminder or whatever it is, that we are going to be on time, but we are actually less late with a paper planner because we are our brain is more highly focused to the time. The other thing is we're more prepared for our meetings. There's something about knowing that meeting, because sometimes if you're digital, and okay, you'll go from meeting to meeting to meeting, your half an hour meeting goes to 40 minutes and you're running into your next meeting, and it doesn't give you that time. And we always think that we have time to brief ourselves on that. So those are just some of the reasons why a paper planner is kind of cool. All right, so we're all ready? We're all ready for a paper planner? Okay. I want to talk a little bit about the planner because it's a little bit different. This paper planner has something at the back, which is your 5-year goals. So you write your 5-year goals out. And one of the best ways to write your 5-year goals, as if you are talking to a film director, and you need that film director to create the set. So you're, okay, when I walk into my living room, when you walk into the living room, I want to look at the TV, and above the TV is this beautiful Chagall. Do you know what I mean? Like, you want to talk about what you want in 5 years as if they are going to actually make a movie. Set design, color, time frame, all of it. So I want you to just have some fun. And at the back of your book, when it says your 5-year goal, write it out like a movie set. You don't have to look at it every day. Just take it from 5 years. And then we're going to immediately move you up to 1 year. When I talk about top performance or strategic planning or reverse engineering, it's kind of like a lot of us have our goals, we write them down, and then we feel like we need to move forward towards our goal. When you move forward towards a goal, unless you're very, very cognizant of quarters, 3/4 of your year, if you work in quarters and you have some way of gauging that goal and where you should be in that quarter compared to your long-term goal, most people find it easier to do a reverse engineer. So if you want to make it, let's make it really easy on me, $120,000 in this certain new revenue stream that you're doing, and you have 12 months, well, it's super easy, right? You can gauge it out financially where you want to go. But if you reverse engineer, you can start to work backwards, which tells you how to work forward. The other really cool thing about the planner, by breaking things up into quarters for you, I mean, there's a daily checklist, there's weekly, and there's monthly, is that if you get to your first 3 months and you see that your goal is 120,000 and you're at half your goal, then you can do one or two things. You can change your end amount, end goal, and you can go for it, or you can go on vacation. Go on vacation. So many entrepreneurs feel guilty when they take time off. But if you're actually gauging yourself and seeing that you are actually on track, that is incredible. That allows you to breathe in a way that we always dream about. Financial management, time management. If you are here and you're using the planner and you're not particularly in a business and you're using it for its efficiency's sake, whatever your goals are, whatever it is, whether it's in health and wellness or whether it's in business, I happen to be using a business goal right now because I can see the screen. I know a lot of these incredible people are in business, is that it allows you to make decisions. What proper reverse engineering strategic planning should do that drives you backward to the front and then working forward is it should stop any surprises. There shouldn't be any, I'm halfway through my year and I don't know where I am. Like, you don't have to do every page by every page. I mean, I recommend that you do as much as you can. But when you're getting to your weekly review, take some time. When you get to your monthly review, take some time. That's your time to evaluate. And it's so important in your goals to evaluate, right? If you're wanting to lose weight, chances are you're going to weigh yourself between now and your goal weight, because you need to evaluate where you are to see if what you're doing is working. Because if it's not working, change one thing about it. Maybe how much you're doing it, how much you're not doing it. Change the cover of a book. I love this story. This is an actual story. And I don't ever tell the author because I don't think it's fair. I just don't think it's fair. But this person got paid 40 books on the New York Times, 40 books, just hit after hit after hit after hit. Obviously, they get paid to write. And so they released a book. Well, guess what? It didn't. It didn't hit. It was what they would call not successful. And so he was told to rewrite the book. And so he took the book back and he's like, okay, he'd been paid for it. He went and found someone else to make a new cover for the book. Bang, New York bestseller. Sometimes you don't have to change everything. Sometimes you just need to change some things or how you're doing it, which is why you'll notice slight tweaks. Your brain will pick it up. I'm not asking you what 3 things do you need to do this week. I'm going to say what top 3 things do you need to do this week. In your review, it's not going to say, how did you deal with that stress, that stressful situation. It's that if a stressful situation comes up, how would you deal with it? I'm going to ask you before your week appears, so you come up with your solution, and half the time it doesn't appear because you've already come up with the solution. You're smart enough. You're going to see some of that through here, but it's the tweaking in the different verbiage that's used in the book. It's the way that the book's laid out that is going to be all about personal development, which feeds into business development, and business development, which makes your personal life better. Right? So that's what this book is about. Now, you can use it. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. If you're not an entrepreneur and that stuff doesn't make you fancy, no worries. But the personal development side is kind of cool. It really is nice to self-evaluate, whether you're in business or not in business. We all have goals and we all have aspirations. There's places in here for you, so you'll see, right? Top priority business things to do. There's only spot for 3. Don't bring your list of 30. There's a place in the book for your list of 30. But next week, if you really have something that you need to accomplish, then just put your 3. If you get through your 3, give yourself a gold star and go into the next week. But it's very easy. So you're going to work backwards and then you're going to work forwards. They're done in 2 easy, lightweight books because people take their planners with them, right? People take their planners with them. And so you can run one into the other. It's just really simple, efficient, but honestly, it is, when I talked in the video, this was the formula that I had self-created for myself. And it was through this formula that I created high-level acquisition in my business that got the attention of Success Magazine. And I hit it 48 times. Only one time, my daughter and son agreed to get a picture. So we got one family picture out of 48 times. But it was from doing these top performing techniques within what we all do every day that actually created efficiency. So that's kind of how the planner works. We're going to talk about it a little bit. There's some speakers tonight that are going to talk about their specialty, and they're going to talk about this, things in the same family of efficiency and top performance and their personal or business life. That's going to be fun. We're going to say some quotes. Like I said, there's some great prizes, and just overall, I hope when you get your planner, you do this. If you do nothing but use it as a calendar, get the motivation that's out of here, because you're going to find some really cool things. And let me just find one right now. Okay, here we go. You're going to see things, and look there's a QR code in the beginning of the planner to tell you how to use it. Okay, so you don't have to be here or listen to me, but you're going to see these incredible QR codes, and you're going to see a quote with a person's name, and you're going to see what they do. Now, some people got funky and said, circus clown. This person is a business coach, right? They got right to the point. Look them up, put their name in. I'm sure they're in LinkedIn, Instagram, or Facebook pretty well, right? But the cool thing is when you hover over that quote, what's going to do, it's going to pop up on your phone. We just talked about this, but you have your phone and it's going to pop up in this beautiful, what we call an Instagram box. It's got a signature for their name. That's awesome. Honestly, send it to them. Send it to that person on their social media and say, hey, oh my gosh, I saw your quote today. But it's put at the beginning of the week. Why? For you to have motivation and inspiration. So these are inspirational quotes. Chances are you're going to your phone and you're looking up on YouTube or a podcast or whatever. Take a couple of minutes out. These are 60 to 90 second, meant to make you smile in the morning kind of inspirations. And so it's going to pop up on your phone. Now there's an arrow. There's an arrow on the bottom of your phone. So do your sister or brother a favor. Send it somewhere. Send it somewhere. It will go anywhere. It'll go email. It'll go social media. It'll go anywhere. If you love it, screen save it and use it for the day. Now, if you were smart enough to put a quote in the planner, good on you. Because when you're talking to people, don't you want them to remember you? Kind of, particularly if you're in business. We're all memorable, right? For something. You choose what. But if you're talking to someone, send them your quote after. It was really great to meet you. I'm Linda. That was awesome. I can't wait to see you in Dallas. That's amazing. Thanks for what you're doing. And then send it to Linda and go, hey, here's 90 seconds of fun, right? I'll tell you something. They'll never delete it from their text. They'll never delete it from your text. They're like, oh my gosh, it was so cool. And they go to delete it. They're like, I'm not going to delete that, right? It is a really cool reminder, right? Or Jill, you got someone that came and they're a super fan. They come to all your concerts. They're like, oh my gosh, I love it. It's great. You're like, oh my gosh, me and Kevin so appreciate you coming and bringing friends. It was a super great time. Hey, you know what? I did something super cool. Here, send this to you. And then send them your event list or something for their next show, right? Utilize this, spread this around. If you have a planner, do that. If you are in the planner, do that. share it. And honestly, it's super fun. You'll start to see these swirl around. Let's make it bigger than the Emmys that we just did. You know, this swirl around that's happening in social media right now. And this is all year long. So this is super fun. This is a super fun thing. And honestly, I think it's one of the most brilliant pieces of innovative marketing we've ever come up with as a team. I personally think it rocks. So that being said, I know and see that our first speaker is in the room. So let me tell you, and the guy got all sorts of things going on here. So you're going to be seeing, now that I told you that you need paper planner, let's go to the schedule. We're going to kick off with Kathy. So Kathy Holt, I shared with you earlier. She can't be with us. She's in amongst literally a move today. So I believe, are we ready, Miss Emily, Desi, or Dorothea? Who's going to be kicking us off with a? Yeah. Okay. Cool. You keep moving on my screen.
Good.
I feel like we're playing tic-tac-toe.
That's okay.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending where you are in the world. And thank you for joining us for this Top Performance Success Planner launch. I'm Kathy Holt, and I'm here to talk a little bit about leadership. I believe that every woman has what it takes to be a leader. Throughout history, the narrative of leadership has often been dominated by men. Hidden was the parallel story of women standing at the forefront, shaping societies, challenging norms, and driving change with resilience and determination. Even today, we need more women leaders. 51% of the world are women, yet only 10% of the Fortune 500 CEOs are women. Actually, it's 52 out of 500. That's not good statistics. We need to be at the table making decisions because we approach leadership from a very different standpoint. So I encourage you to do some self-reflection, look inside of yourself and see what you have to become a leader. And I'll talk a little bit more about this as we progress in this
All right.
session.
Well, thank you, Kathy. So Kathy, as I shared with you earlier, is in leadership for women, and she has an incredible gift that's going into the abundance package at the end, and you're going to be able to spend 90 minutes with her. All right, and so now I see that Miss Stephanie Seek is in the room, and we are settled back. You may know Stephanie if you're on our social at all. She also just came back from the Emmys, and she is an international speaker. She's an international author. She is the CEO of Seek Love LLC, who runs a firm with two top performing sides. One is sales for business and sales professionals, and the other is working on your personal. So she's also personal and she's also business, and she is a world-renowned love and life coaching for women. So Stephanie, welcome to the stage.
Thank you, Deb. Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you better now.
Perfect. All right. Well, it's so good to see you all, ladies and gentlemen. Always love it when men join our calls. So thank you for doing that. Deb, I loved what you said about the power of writing our words down. And that's why I'm so excited about the planner. When I was with the 262 group at the Emmys a week and a half ago, I got to put my hands on the planner and I was blown away by, first of all, how Deb wisely divided it into two sections, the first 6 months and the second 6 months, so we're not hauling around this huge book on planes and when we're traveling. And just the QR codes blew me away, and the heart that's emanating from these books. So like Deb said, I have two sides to my business. I actually reside in St. Louis, Missouri, and I'm thrilled that Deb put me into May. So you'll see my QR code in the planner the week of May 12th. But as Deb said, I'm a love coach as well. So I grew up in corporate America, 25 years of selling in corporate America. So I help businesses grow and sell more. But I have a passion around love and helping women and even men find the love that they deserve. Some of us don't meet the loves of our lives until our 40s, 50s, 60s and beyond. So I want to plug that the love of my life, I've been with him for almost 4 years. He's in the planner. His name is Joe Anselm. He's a rocker. He's a singer, musician, and an actor. And he's in the week of October 20th. And his quote is really cool because it's actually a song. It's a custom song. and it's inspirational, and it's about seizing the day. And what a great message for the planner. So I had to talk a little bit about Joe and just mention him in the time I have with you. I wanted to share a couple, actually 3 quick points. So first of all, our words have power. And I believe that our thoughts become things. If you look around your home, or if you look at where you are today, if you look at your family, your kids, your friends, they all started with a thought or an intention. And so as we go into 2025, to be able to intentionally express our thoughts in this planner can change our lives. I am living proof after 2 marriages and 2 divorces, which I no longer have shame about. I know it was part of my journey so I could help others. I realized, wow, I created those relationships. I brought those into my life, but perhaps not with the clearest of intentions. And now I create intentions with my written word. And that takes me into my second point. There is a difference between goals and intentions. As Deb stated, we're going to have space in the planner for you to write your 3 goals every week. Goals have deadlines. They're typically time boxed. There's something we have to get done to move our business or our life forward. But I also want you to consider using the planner to set intentions. Intentions are energetic, and you might not know the end result. So while with a goal, you might have a weekly goal of saving $500 or a monthly goal of putting away a certain amount of money for your kiddo's college education, and that has an end result. You might have a thought of, I really intend in this next year to create a new friendship, or to create something new in my business that hasn't fully formed in my thoughts, but I know it's brewing, or I have an intention to find love again. Use the planner to write down intentions. It's okay if you don't know what the end result is going to be, because intentions are just as powerful as our goals, and you can marry the 2 to create a life of abundance. And then finally, something I encourage the women, especially that I work with, but both male and female business owners, is to take the time to celebrate. A lot of us are A-type. We're drivers, we're performers, and we look at, I accomplished these 3 goals this week. Okay, time to move on. What else do I have to tackle? And we forget to celebrate. So I encourage you to have fun. At the end of the week, write in your planner something you're going to do to celebrate. Maybe it's just a party inside of your head for 5 minutes where you dance around your living room and celebrate that you got it done. Maybe it's dinner with a spouse or a partner, or maybe it's going to for a walk in the park because you deserve it and you've earned that time for yourself, for self-care and self-love. But take time to celebrate, because when we celebrate the accomplishments of our goals, it sets us up, it gives us momentum so that we can continue moving forward. Because I was just coaching an entrepreneur the other day. She accomplished 10 things in 1 week, and she was stressed out about the following. And I said, wait. Did you take a moment to have a little party inside of your head around what you just did? You just quit corporate America and launched a business, and now you have a business plan. Let's celebrate. So don't forget to celebrate yourself. I think that's the beauty of the planner, is it's a look ahead, but it's also a reflection. And by the end of the year, you're going to have 2 volumes of all of the wonderful goals and intentions that came to fruition by using it. So I'm just really pleased to be a part of it. Deb, I think you've created something amazing, and I know this community will continue to spread the word. So really between now and January, I think it's important that we share with our communities on LinkedIn, on Facebook, what this planner can do for them. And it's more than just a book of pages. It's actually an empowerment tool to move forward our 2025 and make it our most abundant year yet. Deb, should I go ahead and share the gift for everyone that I'm giving?
Share the gift for everyone, put it in, and then I know you can go ahead and share what you're going to be putting into the abundance package if you want, and then please put all your information so people to reach out to you for other sales, and or you do have a book. Yeah, go for it.
Thanks. Okay, so I do have one book. I wrote it for young women. It's called The Love Compass, A Girl's Guide to Finding Authentic Love. But it has inspired a second book, and it's Your Love Compass, a woman's a woman's unconventional guide to love and dating. And I know we have a guy on here. I've been told that sometimes my love advice is helpful there too. So I actually was inspired to do a gift for everyone today that was quite unplanned. I just got my first 10 chapters of the new book returned to me from my editor. And one of the chapters is actually an exercise in how you can create love for yourself. So if you will bear with me, what I would like to do is if you can just in the chat, put your email address, I'll grab it. And I'm going to send you a PDF of that chapter. Nobody has seen it, not even my boyfriend, only my editor. And I would be honored if you would accept that chapter as a gift and use it however you'd like to manifest any kind of love in your life. And then my big gift will be a 1-hour complimentary coaching session on either business growth or love, whatever you'd like to pick. And that will go into Deb's Abundance Basket. So thank you for having me. I hope this was inspiring, and I look forward to continuing the relationship with all of you.
That was fantastic. Thank you. Let's do some love, some Zoom love, some jazz hands. We're all into jazz hands. That's amazing. Thank you so much. And it does remind me that when I was doing my research today, they said, because you talked about having 2 volumes, right? And they said one of the benefits of having a paper planner compared to digital is that you actually have archives. You can actually go back, and people do, they'll go back and they'll see things that they've done, not done, what was happening then, what have you. But thank you so much. Lots of really great gemstones there. Contact with Stephanie, and again, we will be doing a draw at the end, so stay there because literally there's over $3,000 of prizes in there. Thank you so much. I think we are now going to go to Rowena, our top performance professional organizing queen of the evening, all the way from Africa. Actually, no, she shot them before she left.
Every day we wake up with a certain number of decision-making neurons in our brain. And then we have the whole day of making decisions, big ones, little ones, important ones, not so important ones, some that we can't even make ourselves that we need help with. We make over 35,000 decisions a day, starting with when you wake up in the morning. Should I make my bed right now, or shall I make it after I've had my coffee? Shall I wear this, or shall I wear that? What will I have for breakfast? Now, if you can simplify your life so much so that you have a routine of what you do first thing in the morning and what you do for your eating habits and your food prep, and you've got all these great routines in place, then that saves those decision-making neurons for the more important ones that you need in order to make decisions for your work, for your business, for your family, for yourself. So I say declutter, simplify your life, set up some good routines, and kiss goodbye those small decisions, and forget about using up all of your really important decision-making neurons on the minutia stuff of the day. Try it. Try it for a week or 2 and see how you do. You're going to have way more energy. That's for sure.
All right. Well, thank you, Miss Rowena, all the way from Africa. We appreciate that. That was awesome. Look, I'm going to read a quote. I just grabbed some quotes before we started, and we have a really cool girl named Leah Newell from Ireland. And if you know Joanne Callahan, if you do anything at all with this, you know Joanne, and this is her daughter. And I'm like, give me a quote. And she's like, okay. And if you saw the launch that we did in Ireland, you would have met her. Her quote is, your uniqueness is your superpower. And then she put, yippee. So she's 19. I thought it was awesome. So your uniqueness is your superpower. All right. I see that our next speaker is here. So thank you again, Stephanie. I know Kathy's going to lead us in with a 90-second. She's going to lead the lead for the next few speakers. And then we see that Carmel is going to be speaking live. So let's go to Kathy's moment of leadership inspiration.
Hello, everybody. It's Kathy Holt again with another leadership tip. Leadership has changed. The paradigm for leadership has changed significantly. It's not the old curmudgeon that used to sit in the office and yell orders and everybody jumped and went to and did whatever they beckoned them to do. Leadership is about, it's not a title or a position anymore. It's about inspiring and influencing others to achieve a common goal. And we all have things that we want to accomplish in this world, things that we see that maybe we want to change. So I encourage you to start thinking about being a leader. You probably already are, and you just don't recognize it or don't acknowledge it. But the first step in becoming a good leader is to really do some self-reflection. What are your values? What are your strengths? What are your personal goals? What motivates you? What are you passionate about? These things are what starts your leadership journey. And we all, I'm sure, have something we see that we would like to change.
All right. So you can put that in your journal, things that you're looking to change this year from in the next 12 months. What is it that you'd like to change? Where can you step up? Kathy is a big step up, step up kind of lady. When you hang around with her, you're like, okay, you sit a little taller. So thank you for that, Kathy. And I see that Carmel, where's Carmel? There you are. Hello. We spent some time together today. So if you do not know Carmel, Carmel is an incredible woman who, when she works with people, she's a professional coach. She's a global speaker. She's an international author of multiple books. She loves mountain biking. If you're watching this instead of listening, you will see bike parts everywhere. She's all about top performance. She does mountain bike coaching, and she aligns that with her entrepreneurs that she coaches with because it's about mindset. It's about bravery. It's about courage, and it's about getting rid of your, as you call it, your saboteurs. And so someone in that abundance package is going to be spending 3 sessions with this incredible woman. And I am looking forward to listening to you share with us a few moments of your wisdom today.
Awesome. Thank you, Deb. I hope I can live up to your description.
You're standing tall. I know you.
I'm standing a little taller after that. So who in here loves goal setting? Like, yeah, let's set some goals today. And who looks at goal setting like it's a strange noise in a dark alley? Run in the other direction. I don't blame you. That's, I like to say I have a complicated relationship with goal setting. Big goals just never seemed to motivate me in the past. I set plenty of them. They were all awesome things that I really wanted to do. But the furthest that most of them ever got was renting a broom closet-sized space in the back of my mind. And they were probably in there chatting with each other, wondering if I was ever going to do anything with any of them. I was missing 2 foundational things that are required to reach big goals. Now, there's a number of things, but these are 2 that I find really foundational. One is an action plan that I would actually follow. And Deb's planner, which she's launching today, will do an amazing job at helping you with that part. And the other thing is a mindset that says that you can actually accomplish the thing that you want to do. And that's what I'm going to be talking about. So who in here has ever had a goal that just died on the vine? You made little to no progress on it. You didn't take the action with enough commitment or consistency to actually move the needle forward. Anyone? Or is it just me? Okay, awesome. One that always has haunted me, well, I guess not my whole life, but a good chunk of my adult life, was this great idea to create a women's mountain biking magazine. I had absolutely everything that I needed to make this dream a reality. I was a passionate mountain biker. I still am. I had a degree in professional writing and had worked at multiple newspapers. I had graphic design skills, specializing actually in publications. I attended a magazine conference to get ideas and to figure out how I could do this. And I really, really believed that the world wanted this product. Who knows what was missing? Anyone? I had everything I needed, the skills, the talent, the desire, but I didn't really believe that I could do it. Not that it couldn't be done or that no one would want it, but that I couldn't do it. I had those little gremlins in my head, my itty bitty shitty committee, running the show. Now, everybody has these voices in our heads, right? I'm not alone. But one of the differences between the people who reach their goals and those who don't is their ability to manage those voices, right? No one's free of them. Even people at the pinnacle of their career with more accolades and degrees than you can shake a stick at, they still experience self-doubt and fear sometimes. You know, those voices say things like, who do you think you are? And what if you screw up and everybody laughs at you? Nothing ever works out for me, so I don't know why I'm going to even try. Everything needs to be perfect before I can launch this, before I can share this with the world, right? Any of those voices sound familiar? Yeah? Fear, fear, and more fear. That's what really keeps us from our goals. We can have the best plan in the world, but if we never act on it, we've wasted our time, right? I know so many of you know Deb and all of the things that she's done over even in the past year, hosted multiple speaking events, created a movement grounded in a multi-author book. And let me tell you, it's easier to write your own book than it is to round up 262 women, getting them to submit their writing and their profiles and their photos and everything. Trust me, she had the hardest job, or she picked the hardest job. There's the planner that she's launching today. She's a mom for her son's business. And she just recently went to the Emmys. Oh my God, she's done more in this year than most people really do in a lifetime. Right? Her motto just might be go big or go home. And I guarantee you that she sometimes has doubts. She has fears. There are days when her brain is sending her negative messages, when she doesn't feel like doing what she said she'd do. And how disappointing would that be for the rest of us if she said, I don't feel like it anymore. Just going to shut her down. No, she keeps moving forward because she's got a mission that she's committed to, maybe more than one. And she's learned to keep her mental gremlins in check, on top of assembling a really amazing team of people, because that's really important too. Now, I can't speak to how Deb turns down the volume on those voices, but I can tell you how I do it. And it's 4 simple steps. I notice that I'm being hijacked by my negative thoughts. I interrupt the thought pattern by bringing myself into the present moment using either breath or my sense of touch. I shift into a more positive mindset by asking what the gift or opportunity is in this situation. And then I take action based on that more positive reflection, that more positive headspace. Now, my clients learn to embody these in a 6-week course, and I think I probably only got like 1 minute left or something. I don't know how I'm doing for time, actually. I'm doing okay. But I will share with you a practice to help you interrupt your thoughts so that you have a simple tool that you can use right away. Okay, so you can do this with your eyes open or your eyes closed, doesn't really matter. I just want you to bring 2 of your fingertips together and to focus really intently on the sensation of feeling those fingertips rubbing together. You can feel the ridges on your fingertip, the tingly feeling of, one part of your skin touching another part. We're going to do this for like 10 seconds. I want you to focus just on this. Okay. What did you notice? I expect that you can share it in the chat, please. But what I expect is that anything you were thinking of beforehand vanished while you were focused on this, right? You pulled yourself out, just poof, those thoughts are gone. It's just like when you walk from one, you think, oh, I got to do this. And you walk from one room to the next room. And the minute you cross that threshold, you forget because you've been introduced to new stimuli. And you're like, damn, what did I come in here for? You can't think two thoughts at the same time. So you have the power to choose what thoughts you're going to have. You can choose to shift from negative to positive and not let those mental gremlins, that itty bitty shitty committee, hijack you anymore. So that's what I have for you. I hope that's helpful. I'm going to share in the chat I have a little 3-part morning motivator. It's on my website, so you can go and get that, and you'll get to hear more of my voice because there's a recording. And then a couple of really simple practices that you can use to just fire up your day. So thank you, Deb.
No, that was awesome. Let's do some jazz hands and some love. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And it's interesting because I love the word hijack, by the way. I absolutely love that because, you know, you're on point, you know what you want, you're going for it, and all of a sudden it can appear, right? It can appear. And we conversed about that this morning. We did a podcast with this super cool woman. And she's like, how was the Emmys? And that was great. And then I know Carmel really well. So we get transparent and we're talking about real life. And I said, you know, it's interesting because there was a whole crew of us that went there and everyone had their own process. I'm not going to speak on their behalf, but everyone had their own process of working with what you call gremlins. And I was sharing with her, I'm in an evening gown. I'm like ready to go. And all of a sudden something went bump, bump, bump to the point where I turn around and I'm like, I kind of said a few things to it. Like, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Like literally, I'm like, I'll talk to you tomorrow. You know what I mean? And you're like, where does that come from? You know, where does that come from? So I love what you do for a living, and someone gets to spend 3 different sessions with you. I've watched Carmel through many years, and now you know that you said the word magazine. I'm going to be like, and she's part of the team. Carmel is part of the 262 background team. So thank you so much. You're amazing. You're amazing. Honestly, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now I know that we're going to have another profession. People love to feel organized. So let's hear what Rowena has to say about that. Then I've got another super cool quote for you from a really cool singer in the Vancouver area. So let's go, Rowena. All right, look at her. She's all ready for Africa.
How would you like to have extra time in your day? I have the perfect tip and the perfect solution, and that is to turn off all notifications on your phone and computer. Yes, you know what? You are going to end up with so much extra time in a day, you won't even believe it. So first of all, check your phone to see how much time you are spending on it each day. And then you want to turn off the notifications unless, of course, you are expecting a very important phone call. Then, of course, keep it on. But while you're working on any type of a project, or you're in a meeting, or you're having a family time, turn off all those notifications so that you don't get distracted towards your phone and get pulled towards it like a dog when he hears a bell and he goes running. The other thing too is, of course, it's very polite when you are engaging with other people to not have those notifications on, because they can keep hearing them and it interrupts their thought process as well. So it's all about keeping your thought process and your thoughts all not so cluttery and organized. You want them to be organized. So by eliminating the notifications that beep, chime, chirp, it's going to help you with staying focused. It's going to help you with being more present. And in the end, it's going to, I guarantee you, give you way more time.
All right. Well, thank you, Rowena. You think she feels our love? Think she feels our love a little bit? All right. That's super cool. Okay. Well, I have a quote by a woman named Julie Brown. And those of you that are in Vancouver probably know Julie Brown. Those of you that are part of the 262, you know Julie. She's part of the Hot Mamas. And her quote is, "Thoughts are real forces." And I think that's quite, I didn't even plan that, but that's really perfect, Carmel, after what you talked about. So she's from Vancouver, and her title is One Hot Mama. We were talking earlier about how youthful this woman is. Youthful. She's spent years and years and years in music, and she's incredible. She's incredible. Now I know we're going to, so that was my quote, and we're going to now go back to Miss Kathy to lead us into our third portion of the evening. And there we go.
Leadership isn't about the grand gestures or holding a high position, as I've said before. It's about the small, everyday actions that inspire and guide others. I'm sure every one of you listening have at some point taken on something that you wanted to see done, that took the initiative to step up and do something. I imagine you're all pretty good active listeners. Women tend to be good listeners, and we also are good communicators. All these studies show that we say way more words than men. These are all leadership skills. They're traits that we have that make us leaders. It used to be considered soft skills, some of these things in the industry, but now people are learning it's those soft skills that actually are leadership skills. And I know you have them. And I challenge you to start looking within you and seeing, what are you good at? What do you do well? How do you act with other people? How do you get people to do something when you want them to do something?
Well, thank you, Kathy. Don't you love that? I love that. I love the ability that we have to be able to include people from all over the world in something like this. It's fantastic. I'm going to be passing it over to Emily now. Da, 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 da.
Yes. Hi, guys. My name is Emily Bassett, and yeah, I'm on the marketing team here. So if you've come to any of the other events, we've certainly met before. But I actually have the honor and privilege of introducing our next speaker, which is definitely someone you've all met, Ms. Deborah Drummond. And we'll be talking about so many fun things today, all around, obviously, this amazing planner. So Deb is actually a pioneer in the world of entrepreneurship and was one of the first in Canada to create companies in the health and wellness sector. And I know we have some people from her health and wellness past in here, so you'll know better than us. To date, she has built 7 international companies and inspired thousands around the globe. She's been recognized in Success Magazine 48 times. I feel like that's a fact we've really been on today, and has been given numerous nominations, as well as won numerous of those nominations for her accolades and her personal and business achievements. She's the founder and visionary behind the show, Show Up, Stand Up, Speak Up, Yes You movement, which truly has become a movement from Ireland to the Emmys. We're gonna have to change that from our old thing. And it's televised, it's a heart-centered project and movement that reaches over 350 million people around the globe, and it's designed to inspire women and those who support women to remember the solidarity of International Women's Day. Deb's 30-year deep dive of study and training in top performance has built her reputation in the field as a speaker, mastermind trainer, and personal coach. She's inspired, educated, and motivated audiences of over 20,000 to stand to their feet. In her private practice, Deb has personally worked with over 30,000 clients, moving them to a higher state of optimal health and wellness. And I mean, gosh, you know that this woman has to have top performance tips in order to pull all of this off. But she also is the radio host of Mission Accepted podcast. So some of you, I think I've seen on there. and has built her reputation in the field as and she's interviewed dynamic entrepreneurs, ultrapreneurs, creatives, and media professionals who share the guts and glories of entrepreneurship. And finally, that includes a new sort of the Gen Z is Us segment, which really plays into her doing interviews with her son Ocean and focusing on momagers and dadagers and the Gen Z entrepreneurs that are creating successful and generational companies, experiences, and wealth. We are so excited to have you here today, Deb. What are we going to talk about?
All right. Well, thank you. It's a nice professional introduction. I'm so excited. Thank you. And on that podcast note, for anyone that likes exposure, please feel free to contact us if you like to do. Me and Carmel have been rocking out some incredible group podcasts. And if there is a momager or dadager that you know that has a young entrepreneur running around driving a little cray-cray, they can contact us and we're happy to gift them to come on to the show. It's just a lot of fun. So I'm going to talk about something today that people ask me often, and I know me and Dorothea just finished creating a full day workshop on it, because it's the kind of thing that when you talk about, you talk more and you talk more. And Leslie, as you sit there with that perplexed look going, what could it be? We didn't announce it to anyone yet, but I do get asked a lot about how does media and trade shows go together? For me, a trade show is an incredible form of media. And for those of you that are here that have fiscal goals around being an entrepreneur, or you have something that you would share at a live event or at a trade show, I'm just going to share some, again, organizing tips or high yield tips. We talk a lot about my relationship to Success Magazine. That was due to a high yield of growth numbers. And I did all of that work predominantly in trade shows. So there was a time in my life where I had an intimate relationship with my suitcase, and I opened up countries like Australia and Europe, and even opened up countries like Canada, the one I live in, for other companies. And I plane trained and automobiled myself to a considerable place in my business. I really truly believe it's not what you do, it's how you do it. Even when it comes to being organized, why would I do a book on a planner of strategic planning? It's how you choose the strategic plan that's going to yield you your results. We know that. Whether you're making a cake, you're going to make it properly. It's going to lift higher if you whisk it 3 seconds more. I mean, it really is about tweaking what you're probably already doing. So if you've ever had that experience of going to a trade show and watching someone else booth, you know, now every booth at every show, just to let you know, there's always one that it's their day. Like the trade show gods open up and they were going to rock and roll no matter what they do. Happens at every show. I've been to 250 trade shows. It happens at every show. But for the rest of you that are at that show that didn't 777 that experience that day, there's things that you can do to really put things more in your favor. I'm doing one right now. One's wearing a watch. When you're on a trade show, have everything you need on that table or really close by. Do not keep you might have investor packages, you might have samples, you might have business cards, you might have brochures, you might have blah, blah, blah. You might have things that you've kept behind on the back of the table, okay. Or at another cocktail table behind you, okay, because they are high value. You don't, you've made these $25 investor packages and you don't want someone to walk off with it. Or let's say that you're in skincare or a product base or jewelry or what have you, and you have gifts you're willing to give and you don't want them on the front, that's fair. But do not put anything under the table you need that day. Don't put anything in your purse that you got to go search for. There's nothing worse. You're standing at the front of a table and someone's like, oh, I got something for you. Hang on. There's this bustle going around. Now you've broken the connection and you're behind scrambling trying to find something. So if you're going to be at a trade event, have everything accessible. Goodness knows your phone's, in arm's length. So can the things that you're going to give away. That's a really big one. You'll see people do it all the time. So from a trade event, having accessibility, even if that accessibility is, oh my goodness, you know what, Leslie, I've got a beautiful pair of earrings I'd love to give you. Come with me. Come with me to the back table so you don't leave someone hanging there and break that connection. These are all little tweaky things that you're going to figure out. A lot of people spend a lot of time making a list of everything they need to bring to the show. Product, stands, TV, electrical cords, banners. Trust me, the list goes on and on and on. More people spend more time on that list than their list of why they're going. It's true. Why are you going? Why are you going? Before you pick your brochures or what you're going to give away or what you're going to do, why are you going? I'm going to make sales. What kind of sales? Is it you want people to come into your business? Like, so Carol, you want people to come into your business, or do you want to sell product? Because it's a different conversation. It's a different setup on the table. It's a different accessibility. It's a different, what are you putting in your phone? Is it your press kit or your Instagram link? What is it? So you need to decide what you're going to do at that show prior to going. And look, you guys are entrepreneurs. You have a million things you can talk about. No more than two. No more than two. No more than two. If you're there for a 3-day show, you can change your mind each day and you can talk about 2 different things each day. Go ahead. Not recommended, but if if you're like, are you kidding me? Then you can change it each day. But if my goal is to build my Instagram, I'm going to lead with something different. It's going to be a different brochure. It's going to be the first thing I'm wanting to exchange with you, right? Oh my gosh, I'd love to connect with you later. Look, let's exchange Instagram. Oh, you're not on Instagram? Okay, let me do this instead. It's on your card, your business card that you're giving away. Don't tell me you don't have business cards, or we're going to have just a really long conversation later. Okay, so if you're giving someone a business card and it doesn't have your Instagram on there and you're there to build Instagram, you might want to rethink that. But you're not going to have time to rethink it if you're worried about the banner and you're not worried about why you're there. So any good marketing 30, 60, 90 days ahead is great planning. But first of all, plan why you're going. If it's for sales, drop it down. Or if you're in direct sales and you got 15 products, what are you going to lead with? Because 15 is ridiculous. And talk about 15 products, right? Have 15 products on your table, go ahead. But what do you want to talk about? Pick 3 that you will choose from. Probably the best selling item would be probably a good place to start, or the one that you use the most. So what are you doing there? What are you going to talk about? And how are you going to talk about it? And then having everything on your table. And then having a watch so you can look, honestly do it. Like, where's your phone? I can tell you what time it is right now. Can you tell me that? You're going to look on your computer. You're going to go, oh, there it is. Or there's my phone. You can go like this. So a watch is really good. The last thing I want to talk about is where a lot of people make a mistake, and that's in the draw. That's in if you don't have a draw, well, we really need to talk, because if you don't know that you're there for lead generation, you're there for lead generation, right? So you're going to have a draw of some kind, and most people want to have a draw. Oh my goodness! So I don't know. Let's talk about Carmel. So Carmel has this incredible coach. Let's say she's doing, I don't know, she's at the trade show and she's got a magazine that she's getting subscribers for. It's a mountain bike magazine, and you can also get top performance, high performance mountain bike coaching. And she's like, oh my gosh, Deb, you got this incredible 262 wine. I'd love to give a bottle away. I'm like, I'd love to have that exposure. Let me do it for you. Wrong, 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 wrong. Why? No, better. Let me give you a TV. Let me put a TV. Let's do a draw for a TV. Do you know how many people would fill that draw for TV? You and everybody like you. So Carmel's going to have 100 leads, 150 leads. Awesome. Have fun, because they're not looking for a magazine. They want a TV. You're better off. Trust me, I went all around. And at that point, it was skin and body and brain. That's what I was talking about. Science-based skin, body, and brain. So that's what I gave away. I would rather have 10 leads for people that want to have a better brain than 100 people that want a TV. Why? I don't sell TVs. I don't sell TVs. So what a big waste of time. 100 emails into your database, and they want TVs. So chances of them unsubscribing very high. I see it all the time. And then I'm going to give you kind of one last thing to do. The next live event you go to that's trade-based, take every one of your business cards, because you have them, and I want you to go put them in every draw, every draw. I did this with my son very early on. I'm like, let's go. Every single table, every trade show we did, and I did a lot, On average, I got 1, maybe 2 calls. Maybe if I was in a large show. People don't phone. They don't call. You don't follow up. I call it profit calling. Change it. It's profit calling. If you are the person that actually calls, good on you. Because you'll outdo 90% of the people that paid the same price you did, got a corner booth and paid for extra, brought in, gave samples, all of it. And the sooner you call, the better. Because there's going to be a couple of other people that took my class, and they're going to call them too. And first to the run is first to the run. And you've all done it. Well, I heard about it from her first. I talked to her first. Oh, I did that. I do a 6-hour class. If you're interested, awesome. I'm sure that we're going to put the link in and you can come spend some time with me. But if you do a trade show right and you duplicate that right, that's literally how I got to #1 in 10 countries out of 2,000 people. And I was 2 years behind the game. People were 2 years ahead of me. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. So the next live event you go to, I hope that that has been helpful for you. At the very least, wear a watch and don't sit. And with that, they're like, what do you mean don't sit? Don't sit, go for a walk. Hopefully that's been helpful for you. So that's what I have for you today. You can put some things, if you have any questions, put it in the chat. We'll capture the chat. I'm happy to call you later. I do have a class. I'm going to be gifting at the end of the day 2 speaker shout outs to our next incredible summit. So we've had up to 6,000 people come to our summits. We have these incredible speaking juicy opportunities that happens between speakers. We call it a speaker shout out where the highlights on you. They're $350. And I'm going to gift 2 and I'm going to gift it at the end of the night. So that is your gift. And I'm also going to throw into that abundance package, I'm going to put in a private session. That's going to be a private media session. Maybe you want to know how to media score. Maybe you want to know how to media stack. Maybe you want to do live events. Maybe you want to know how to start to create a media plan. But anything media, then I will throw that into the abundance package as well. So we've got a nice little abundance package going on. All right. So yay, yay, yay. Hopefully that was helpful. I'm not going to tell you to give me jazz hands. It seems kind of weird, but I love you and thank you and appreciate that you're all here. Oh my goodness. All right. Now, I think we're going to go into, did we do something from Rowena? Are we back to a Rowena quote? All right, let's do Rowena. Awesome. Thank you.
The #1 way to stay healthy is by being organized. Yep. You got to be organized in your kitchen. You need to be organized with your food prep and with your grocery shopping. People always say, you know, if it wasn't in the house, I wouldn't eat it. Yeah, well, you wouldn't be able to eat it if it wasn't in the house. So the key is to not bring it into the house. Only bring in whole, fresh foods. My goodness, the more and more I read and learn about processed foods and what's in them, the further I stay away from them. My motto is, if I can't read the ingredients properly and I don't understand what the ingredients are, I don't eat it. There's so many chemicals and so many bad things in all that food. So keep to healthy meal planning, healthy foods, the perimeter of the grocery store. That's what they say. Go around all the outside, which is where the fruit and vegetables are, the dairy, the meats if you eat meats, and the bakery. Well, okay, the bakery you got to be careful of because maybe some good healthy bread, but there could be some things that tempt you. And my theory is that if you eat properly and you eat well 80% of the time, that's going to be key. Having a clean, organized kitchen is key. Knowing when you're going to do your food prep is key. And having things on hand for the ready so that you don't grab the wrong stuff. That means fresh cut vegetables, fresh cut up fruit, maybe some whole nuts and grains, things like that. So here's to your health and mine too.
Love these tips. I love them. I think they're fantastic. I think they're absolutely fantastic. Well, thank you, Rowena. She'll be listening to this. She'll be like, you're welcome. I know her. So another quote that I thought was absolutely fantastic, and I think we probably all would agree because we're talking about books. There's lots of authors here, multiple authors. Here's a quote by a woman named Chloe Drummond Bilko. She does live in Vancouver. Reading is the answer to most of life's questions. I like that. Reading is the answer to most of life's questions. Her title was Avid Book Lover. All right. All right. Very cool. Very cool. Now I see that our next speaker is in the room, and we also, I believe, are going right before we go to our speaker. We have another Kathy. Kathy's going to lead us in.
Yeah.
Am I right? All right. Look at this. I'm
You are.
getting on the program, people. I'm getting on the program.
Do you feel like you want to make a positive change, have a positive impact on something around you, create a lasting legacy? I think most of us do. And one of the ways to do that is to perk up that leader within you. Other strategies that help us in our leadership journey are being continuous learners. And I think women are usually pretty good at this because we're often have to be the other thing, adaptable. We're thrown so many different situations. We're often juggling so many different roles, either in our community or our household, that we are adaptable and we do continuously learn, so that we don't fall behind. The other thing is to embrace those challenges. Challenges are what give us opportunities to learn. We very rarely learn when we're on autopilot and just doing our thing. But when something kind of jolts our attention, that's when we learn. It's on the outer edge, and that's where we learn. So embrace those challenges. They might be scary, but they do offer you so many opportunities to learn, to grow, and to demonstrate your leadership qualities.
All right, we are all going to be incredible leaders after, and I hope that you are all writing this down because we talked about that. All right, so our next speaker is in the room. I'm sure she's going to pop her picture open, I believe, as soon as we introduce her. So let me introduce you. There she is. Hello. So Dr. Shahana Alaba, how are you? She is an incredible TEDx speaker. She's a doctor. We're super grateful that she's in our country, in our province, doing incredible work with youth. She's a TEDx speaker on emotional literacy. She's absolutely an author, and we'll have to do an extra jazz hand and some hearts and a big wraparound because she is launching her book tomorrow, Mel Robbins' endorsed book called Feel Better, and is releasing on the 26th. We're so excited for you. Thank you so much for joining us. I believe you saw her on the 262 stage earlier, and we are going to pass this over to you.
Thank you so much. And speaking of being adaptable, apologies. Sitting in the car in the pouring rain, I'm soaking wet, just finished a cross-country meet for one of my 3 boys. So this is what it means, right? This is real life. This is exactly how we show up in our day-to-day. And I'm just so thankful to be part of a community that gets it, understands it, and celebrates it as well, too. So, Deb gave me 10 minutes today, and I love that because I think I can deliver one key point. But I always want to start with a story because, as she mentioned, I'm the medical director at the Foundry Abbotsford. We serve youth between the ages of 12 and 24, and everyone listening today loves a youth or has a youth in their life that they are currently parenting or coaching, right? It affects all of us too, and all of us, we were once youth ourselves. So not that long ago, I had a 17-year-old. We were trying to push him towards graduation. He was already a year behind. He was almost turning 18. He was drinking too much, doing too much weed, not showing up for classes, not handing in his assignments. So I was coaching him through it. He didn't need medication. He needed a mindset shift. One day he comes to me and says, Dr. Alibi, he's like, most of the times I can do what you tell me, but sometimes the F-it radio just comes on. I was like, what? He's like, the F-it radio. I said, I really don't know what you're talking about. He's like, that radio station in your head that tells you, I can't, I never, I should. see, I always. And then I got it. Because if I know out of anybody, moms do this all the time. Should all over yourself. I should be doing this and I should be doing that. And as you're listening to me, you should be doing your Kegels. We know this, right? We know this. So it's moms. And so when he put it this way, I'm like, now I know what you're talking about. What he's talking about is the inner narrator, the inner chatter, the inner typographer that we all have in our brain, constantly narrating our response, our perception of a situation, not the situation, but our perception of that situation. And if it still doesn't make sense to you, remember the analogy of when you first dove off a diving board. All of us remember that. I remember going up, trying to follow my sister and going, I want to go back down. I was so scared, but I couldn't because there was a lineup of people behind me. Who in your inner voice is telling you, you got this? I believe in you. You can jump. Or are you like the woman who came up to me a couple of months ago and says, I know what voice that is. It's a voice that tells me, don't think too much of yourself. It's getting to your head. And I looked her straight in the eyes and whose voice is that? It's the voice of my dad, she told me. So you get to decide whose voice, whose inner chatter is going to dominate your world. Now we could spend an hour talking about inner chatter, but there's 3 tips that right now you can implement to understand, to mitigate, and to even optimize that inner chatter. Number 1, use your name. Last night I had a really hard time falling asleep, and it's so easy to say, oh, I should be asleep right now, and I'm going to have such a hard time waking up tomorrow, and I. Don't say I. Don't say I. Say your name. Deb. Shahana. Shahana, you got this. Shahana, it's going to be okay. When you speak to yourself using your name, you create a little bit of distance. Ironically, you are kinder to yourself instead of saying, I never, I can't, I should, because we've had decades of experience putting ourselves down. So the next time you fall into the I trap, teach this to your kids, teach this to your adolescents, use your own name. You automatically become a bit softer, a bit kinder to yourself. The second tip is thinking about what would a person I respect in this situation do? Some of us might have heard of the adage WWJD if you follow a certain faith. But what about WWBD? What would Beyonce do? What would Taylor Swift do? What would any of the people that you love, respect, admire, even your parents, even a coach, even a pastor, what would they do? Why does this work? Because just like a camera lens, it allows you to zoom out of the situation. It's not you anymore. It's what would someone you love, someone you respect, someone you admire do in that very same situation. I love in the chat. What would, yeah, exactly. Fill in the chat too. Who was that person? Who was that person, right? And I just used Beyonce because it was an easy one to use, but I'm sure if I had girls at home, they would be saying Taylor Swift. The third one is, can you do a mental time travel? Can you do mental time travel in the sense, if there was an issue that happened to you today, I was almost half an hour late for a clinic that I run at a high risk school. These kids are in dire need of support. Me showing up late doesn't feel good to me, to them, to all of the youth workers. So I'm already walking in, beating myself up. But am I going to remember that in a week, a month, a year? Probably not. Once again, this takes you out of the situation. What we want to do in our life, we've all played catch on one of those Velcro mitts with our kids, where you have a tennis ball, you have that Velcro mitt, and it's like that whoop suction. What would someone do? Temporal time travel, mental time travel, and using your name allows you to unstick. It allows you to look at the situation for what it is and not let your perceptions mar what you're seeing. So those are 3 simple, easy tips that you can use right now to help optimize and even better yourself, because you can only better your life if you get a handle of this first. Hope that helps.
Oh my goodness, that was amazing. Let's do some love, love, love for cold mama in the car.
Yeah.
Cold mama in the car. I love that. And I if you can, put your information in the chat.
Yes.
Let us know if you have your Amazon link. We're super excited for you for launching. A
Thank
lot of us know what launching looks like. We're in one right now. Thank you for being a part of this. Congratulations on that. And absolutely. And she's also got an incredible TEDx talk that you can go and see. I love that. And you know what's interesting is that when my son Ocean sent me a text today, and I ran him around, to get him a credit card or whatever today. And he sent me a text and he said, "Thanks, Mom." And when he used my, name per se, my name for him, it landed so differently. I was like, "Oh, I think that's really powerful. I think that's really great." And I think it also probably would stop because no one wants to talk to themselves like that, right? So
Absolutely.
good. So good. I love that. And that's what I think the best of personal development and business development. And I don't think I need to sit here and get on to pitching to you the power of what happens to your business when you really go deep into the personal development, and also vice versa. When a lot of times when you start building your business, it requires a different level of personal development, right? Things are going to show up and you're like, I need to look at that. I need to wonder that, like that. Who's that voice in your head, right? What's stopping her? And then she has an opportunity to work on that. That was fantastic. Thank you so much. Yay. Yay, yay, yay. All right. So I believe, do we have a Rowena moment, or am I doing a quote now? Or, oh my gosh, what are we doing? I know I'm introducing the next speaker. But we do. Oh, look at I think we're going to go to Rowena. Let's take a guess. There she is.
Has your office become a dumping zone? People in the household don't know where to put something, so they stick it in your office. And now all of a sudden you've got all these things that you have to try and deal with that aren't even business related. Children's art projects, unfinished projects that maybe your husband started or your partner, pieces of Lego, it goes on and on. I see it every day. My suggestion is to work on your office 15 minutes to freedom, I call it. So take 15 minutes at the end of each day and start clearing away things that no longer belong in your office, and prepare your office for the following morning so that when you go into it, it steps up to greet you. It says, "Good morning, world. I'm ready for you, and you are an entrepreneur, and you are going to make things happen in this office." If you're feeling a little overwhelmed by that and you think you need more than 15 minutes, simply take a box. Yep, a box, and put everything in it that is not important. All the things. Keep on your desk only what you need to deal with today. Yep, that's it. And then slowly but surely start pulling things out of that box and either deal with it by filing it, or delegate it if it needs to go somewhere else, or dump it. That's right. Stick it in the recycling bin or dump it in the garbage, whatever it might be. And try to stay away from those 3 deadliest words we've been talking about, just in case. Don't keep things in your office just in case. For an example, all those way outdated phone bills. People keep them just in case. It's not necessary. Have a clear office.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, Rowena. Thank you. Thank you. Right? I know. Jazz hands on that one. Rowena's a good friend of mine, like a very, very good friend of mine. And she's been running this Women's Goddess Circle, which basically we get together, drink wine and exchange clothes. Okay, we're good goddesses. We're recycling goddesses. Anyways, I called her as my world started to become abundant with different things that I was doing. I don't think I need to explain to you. I called her and I'm like, "Get over at my house." She's like, "Okay." Now, we did a lot of stuff in direct sales together. She was one of the top women in direct sales in Mary Kay when she was about 19. And I'll tell you, she used the phone book. Her lead generator was the phone book. Does anyone remember the phone book? And she just went walking through the phone book. And that woman just was incredible. Anyways, I said, "Come to the house." And she said, "Okay." And I said, I'm not staying organized. I've lost that 10-minute coping mechanism to keep everything infrastructured. And I was having trouble with my desk. I'm like, I never thought I'd have to call you about my desk, but I leave my desk and I come back to the desk in the morning because I've just got too much going on. And that 15 minute, putting that 15 minutes in at the end of my day that was non-negotiable, 15 minutes to rearrange, because I wasn't getting rid of my stuff, right? But it was just to rearrange was critical for my efficiency. I was like, oh, look at you. That was super good. So she came over and we had some dinner and she's like, Deb, I don't think you need to hire me. I think you just need to give yourself 15 minutes at the end of the day. I think, looking at what you've got, you're nailed down. I was like, well, that was a cheat meal. Awesome. Great. But anyway, she's fantastic at what she does, and she's amazing. So I'm going to give you another quote because this is super cool. I love this quote. This is by Dorothea Leon, and she's supermom and teacher. I love this. She goes, there are no sides. It's a circle, and we're in it all together. Oh, love that quote. Love that quote. All right. So now I have the pleasure of tag teaming back. And look, we're talking about performance, and we're talking about marketing, and we're talking about business, and we're talking about efficiency, and we're talking about personal development, and we're talking about doing business with heart, and all of the above. And you all know that I have an incredible team that helps keep everything moving and grooving. And the cool thing is that some of my team people have their own team, have their own company, have their own corporations, right? And Emily, as you know, is the Chief Marketing Officer, has a whole crew of people that come to the table, that she doesn't just work on our things, she works on many things with many projects, with many deadlines. And anyone who's in the world of marketing, Leslie, I'm sure you will nod your head to this. It's all about deadlines. It's all about, ooh, we're making a decision now. I mean, you might decide to do things and not give your marketing officer 90 days to work it out. You're like, I'm in a trade show this weekend, and all those kind of wonderful things. And so I thought, who better than to share the stage a little bit and share some of those professional efficiencies that can happen in the world of marketing and out there in that mass world of media than Miss Emily Bassett from Stardom Up, which is a multi-award winning marketing agency.
Thanks so much, Deb. And yeah, hi everyone. Super excited to be here today. And it is actually very funny because I am all things digital, but I still love the paper planner. It's like, and even prior to meeting Deb and her planner, it was always an indigo planner for me prior. And there's just something about writing things down. I actually will make a task, like all my task systems are digital, and I'll make a task to review my planner because I know that I've ended up writing a bunch of things down on it, and I just want to make sure that like it ends up where it needs to go, essentially. So yeah, fun fact. So today I thought I'd talk a little bit about sort of like automations and like efficiency in marketing. So Deb everyone today is kind of talking about how we can get things done efficiently, effectively, and kind of stop wasting time. So in marketing, there's quite a world where we can do this as well. So what I say is if there's something that you're constantly repeating, then that's somewhere to definitely look at, what can I do to improve this? So even from a personal story, I used to have it where I love doing calls. I'll chat with you, I'll plan everything out with you. I knew my prices, but when it came to actually sending that lead email, for some reason, there was just resistance. It was just sales, wasn't something that came naturally. I always, there's that hesitation of like sending the price list and things like that. And so it would just take me so long to send a proposal. And it was so silly. Like, I'd have this wonderful call and everything would be great. And I made like a simple change by just creating a template for my proposals. And now I get them at the same day. So like little things like that, I really want you guys to look at where there's the most resistance. And for me, we're mostly going to talk about business, but honestly, this could apply to personal as well. So what types of things, the trade shows are a really good example. If you go to a trade show and you come home with this beautiful email list, what are you going to do with it? If you go to a trade show every single week and come home with another list, that can be very intimidating to be like, I have to follow up with all of these people. So in digital marketing, there's so much we can do to really help that. So, one thing you've probably heard is funnels. So some people say, funnel has to look like this, has to act like this, has to do these things. I'm much more in the world of a funnel is anything where you're feeding people in, you're sending them through a process, and there's some sort of ending. So that could be anything from setting up that giveaway at your booth, and collecting people into your funnel there. It could be running a giveaway on social media. It could be doing a survey and having people take that and collecting their emails. So as soon as you have something that's actually collecting a bunch of emails, we want to create some sort of automation. So I find that people run into a lot of questions sometimes about how to keep your authenticity with a funnel. And essentially, what we say is that once something has to become very personal, then that's when you want to kick it out of the funnel. So we have a client, for example, and he focuses on rock sales. So when you want to get a quote from him, you obviously want things right away. So you want to fill out his form, you want to get your information, you want to get your pricing, you want to find out all that information. So all of that is now automated for him. Then but then once it actually gets down to, okay, where is your rock? How big is it? What exact tool is required? That's when then he needs to or the person kind of spits out of the automation. He gets a notification. This person, here's all of their information, go give them a call. So you're not wasting time on that itty bitty back and forth and just like the minute details. The same reason, Deb has a Calendly. If she has to go back and forth with you and figure out when you're free and she's free and you're going to be there all day. So that's something like a Calendly is a super easy way to just be like, okay, great. This can automate my booking system and even send people reminders that they have a meeting coming up. Like, how great is that? So with my company, we do talk a lot about funnels and we can actually help you build them. But I thought I'd just run through a little bit of a checklist. So with everything in marketing, we want to make sure that you're hitting every step of the funnel. So you guys have possibly seen the funnel at this point. Sort of starts with awareness. So we say this top funnel is actually where you're showing up in the world and you're building credibility. So in order to show up in the world, you want to look at things like, do you have social media? You might not need every account everywhere, but do you have social media? Do you have somewhere some people can just find you? Do you have or want to have any ads? Do you have a Google My Business? It's a really big one. If you have especially if you have a storefront, you want someone to Google you and you want to show up right there, nice and bold on Facebook, on Google. Oftentimes, if you have a storefront, you will have a Google My Business. You just haven't claimed it. So do take a look at that. Google yourself. If you have a little square that pops up on the side, for us digital people, it's not as big of a thing, but yeah, definitely look at that. It's free and it's a really great way for people to find you. Then you want to lock in branding. So the 262 world, if you see the words show up, stand up, speak up, who are you thinking about? That type of messaging and seeing that consistency across your brand is not only going to have it that people can discover you, but also that people can recognize you. So really locking in your branding book, outlining your target audience. So who in the world are you even trying to reach? And then create consistency with a calendar or a planner. So that's really the very first step of awareness. That's your checklist. I do have a copy if people want this in writing after the fact, so don't worry. Then you get into the next stage of the funnel, which is actually interest. So if people do want information, how are they going to get it? So these are things like opting into an email list and funneling leads through lead magnets. So your checklist for that is to actually create 1 to 3 high value content offers. So this can be a survey, this can be a checklist. Like for me, it can be like top 10 mistakes you don't want to make in your first year of business, you know, and the reasons why you need a marketing agency, or how not to mess up your marketing in the first 30 days, you know. You can look at quite a few things like that. So you want to actually look at like, what can you give people for free? You want to create those high value content offers, and then you want to explore opt-in options. So a lot of people here, I mean, we've actually seen different ones happen in the chat. So some people have just said, you know, drop the email and I will, you know, they're going to be adding the emails to their own CRM system and they're going to be working it that way. Whereas other people are sending you a link or giving you a link to their website. So those are different ways that you're opting into your funnel. So you're telling this person, I am interested in what you do. So I am willing to hear you out. I'm willing to learn more from you. So you need to make sure that you have that as well. And then you constantly want to be auditing that customer journey. So if this was not my own business, would I click on this button? If it's not my own business, would I want this? Is this an actual value add? So that's, yeah, so those are kind of the checklist for interest. Then you're going to look at consideration. Don't worry, guys, there's only 5 steps on this funnel. We're not going to be here all night. But the next stage on the funnel is consideration. So this is where, you know, now we know about people, or we know that these people are interested. How are we going to actually help them make that decision? So they're kind of going down our email funnel while receiving emails and videos that speak to the pain points and give them solutions they've been looking for. So for this stage, I want you to actually write down all the possible pain points of your target audience. What keeps them up at night? What is just not working out for them? Like how, and obviously in particular to your solution. Then you're going to write down all of your unique selling points and your competitive edge. So just because these people have those pain points and you can solve it, why should they come to you? There's other people that most likely do what you do. Is it your years of experience? Is it the fact that you work with people just like that? Is it your, you know, your awards? Is it your exposure? There's so many things that make you unique. And don't just say because I give high quality and I'm nice. You know, everybody's nice and thinks they give high quality. Really try to think deeper than that. Then at this stage, you're going to create email templates. And part of that is going to be making videos for your funnel. This one's, you know, controversial. Some people try not to get in front of the camera, but videos do time and time again sell. So if you're wanting to perhaps not have to do 25 you know, face-to-face meetings for people that aren't really marketing qualified, a video is a perfect step. So here's a video, you've probably gotten lots from Deb, you know, and we kind of say, you know, here's what the opportunity is. If you're interested in this, let's talk. If you're interested in this, let's talk. Yeah. So that kind of already says you're not wasting your time because she's not tricking you into a call. You're both going through that funnel and saying, you know what? No, I do want that. She's saying, let's get you there then. And now you're, you know, you're in the right place that you want to be. You also want to choose a review platform for this stage. So a big thing of consideration, especially as women, we read reviews. We want to know what other people think of things prior to wasting our time or money getting involved. So find a review platform and start collecting reviews, and then consider your remarketing options. So say I do a call with someone, they don't end up signing right away. What can I do to potentially see them back in the future? And then we're at our beautiful conversion. So how do we actually see that conversion point? How do we actually make that sale? So your number one is ensuring that you have a smooth customer conversion journey. So how easy is it to check out? Identify how to track conversions, you know, make sure your analytics are hooked up. Google Analytics is completely free. Give me a call if you need help setting it up. Outline possible upsells. So, you know, a lot of people that do coaching and things like that, here is like a group course or here's a course. But if you're really looking for one-on-one and you're serious, like let's go right to the coaching, you know, or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe it's that you want to add a planner to your working session so that you really are coming into a top performance class on the right foot. Then you want to create thank you emails. That's a really great way just to keep that little ounce of authenticity. Like, as you know, solopreneurs and smaller businesses, we truly are thankful for every sale, for every conversation. Make sure they know it, and then create a feedback loop. So how do we know in the next 6 months that people are actually liking this? Are we somehow tracking or asking people for what they think on a consistent basis? So that's where we're going to stop for me today. I hope that some of those points have been helpful. But yeah, I mean, honestly, like with the agency, we really just are focused on helping you with those tangible results. Like, we are all hardworking businesswomen here. We don't want to be wasting time on kind of things that aren't actually going to see results. And that's exactly what this planner is about. And it's exactly what the team is about as well. So yeah.
Yay! Let's do some jazz hands. I mean, I think it's all so important. Thank you so much, Emily. And Emily has thrown into the abundance bucket.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, a beautiful. It's with $500, and it is an SEO. I believe it's an SEO audit. Is it an SEO audit we're doing? Yeah. And I didn't mention that our beautiful, going to launch her book tomorrow. Incredible. Her gift. Hand-signed book, endorsed by Mel Robbins, Dr. Shahina Alabi. Is it Alibi? Alabi. There you are. Thank you. Alibi. I think it's Alibi. And it always messes me up because it's not the spelling, but she's incredible, and she's going to put her book in as well.
Awesome.
So that's fantastic.
I was going to say too, if you do want the hard copy of the list, you can either private message me or throw it on the chat, and I'll grab your emails and just send you through an actual checklist. It has even more points than this chat. So yeah,
Well,
I can see a few messages coming in. So you're good.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it's about efficiency. And I think it's a really good question. You started off with a really good question, whether it's your personal life or your business life. What am I doing over and over and over and over again that you don't want to do over and over again? Or you get to that point where you're like, I don't want to go do some more networking because I don't have any room in my calendar for that. And I know for me as someone, I mean, I was in the holistic health business for a long time, and it's really, you're with your person and you're working through health issues or what have you. And it was really hard to think of that idea of going into duplication and doing a video. And am I going to lose that personal touch? But it's not true, because when you actually get together, you're both more educated, to the point where I was hearing myself, somebody like, I'd love to tell you about something, like, you got a video? Because honestly, I'd love to help you and love to support you, but I don't have the bandwidth for a call right now. But I'd love to have an educated call, because I can listen to a lot of stuff making my dinner. I mean, I don't go, if you see me in the grocery store, it's headphones on, right? I'm listening to someone's message, or I'm listening to some video, because we all have a certain amount of bandwidth, right? And it starts to get down to wanting to have a quality life. Now, if I could figure out, no, I'm sure we can send our laundry out and get that figured out. But there's something for everything, right? There's something for everything. Leslie's like, yeah, you can. She's like, yeah, you can. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. It just gets you thinking about automation and efficiency, no matter where you're at with your business or if you're setting up something. I think that's fantastic. So I wanted to just answer a couple of questions. We talked earlier about Mission Accepted has group podcasts. If you're seeing value in duplication and you want to get onto a group podcast, we have incredible group podcasts, and that collaboration of sharing it to the world is very helpful in that marketing, right? So one of the ways that we're being efficient is being able to share and offer something that's more economically feasible for people, as well as an expansion of, sometimes there's 4, 5, 6. We don't do more than 10, but it can be pretty fun doing a group podcast if you've never done one. The quotes, believe it or not, we have a wait list going on for 2026. It's incredible. We did 2 quotes for each week. We're now adding more quotes into the month area. So there are quote availabilities. You can get onto the wait list for 2026, because as you can see, we actually launch it early in the year. It's September, because if you are planning, you need your planner in September so that you're not missing anything. You probably all, and I think we're going to be even having an extra special little thing for you next year that we're going to launch, and not too soon away, we're going to do a media tracker. so you can stay on top of all the people you know that are doing media. Imagine launching a book in 3 months from now and going, I need to be on a bunch of podcasts. And I'm going to go to my media planner and I'm going to look at all the people that I've met in the last 3 months that actually have a podcast or a radio show or what have you. And Dorothea's nodding her head. She goes, this woman has to stop going on vacation because I come back with ideas. But it's all about efficiency and helping you be functional, because we all want to be free. You know what I mean? Like if you're in business, freedom was something that you talked about probably in your early days. And if you're not experiencing it, that multiplication, that duplication, that top performance, that efficiency, that tweaking is going to really help you get there. So those are some cool things that are happening. So if a media planner sounds exciting to you, or you want to be on a podcast, or you want to get your quote in, you can do up to 4 quotes in the planner because we split it in 6 months and you can do 2 in each. That's kind of fun. So those are some of the things that are upcoming. And just for those of you that don't have your planner yet, and I know me and Dorothea are going to get loaded tomorrow with people going, my heaven hasn't arrived. But trust me, I see it in my email. They're going. They're going because I get CC'd on it and they're out there. But I wanted to just give you some ideas if you haven't gotten yours yet, or if you don't have one. Just some of the things that from a success standpoint, and I'm just going to talk about the weekly. I just opened up a page. So here's something that people don't ever really probably write about. And whether you're doing this or not, but my international goal for this week of building my business, one thing. Oh, my international goal. Well, I can tell you our next speaker is going to be in LA next March. Her international goal, maybe coming up in December, is to start making contacts in LA because Miss Trish Springsteen's going to be there. So what would her international goal be this week? Just one out of a week. We're like, oh, I never really thought about that. If you want to build international, right? Another question in the planner, what might cause challenges for me this week? So one of them for me is that my son's going to Japan and I didn't help plan that trip. So what are some of the challenges? Well, he has some things like I had to run out today to see if we can get him a credit card, things like that. What might cause challenges? Here's how you become efficient with that. You don't go, oh, I got how many people? Oh my gosh, you know what I got? I got some stuff coming up this week. And that's all. That's where they stay. They literally stay holding their head. But the next question is, solution would be, oh, so next week I've got stuff going on, but what's my solution? This is the one I talked about earlier, that if you start to write solution, then the problem doesn't feel like a problem because it's gone from a problem to a situation and it's handled, right? Okay. On this side, some personal love. Was there anything I could have done to make last week a better experience? Right? Did you put too much into your week? Did you start to panic about things because you didn't do enough? Was there a lunch that you skipped out on because you went and did something else instead? And you're like, I wish I really had gone to that lunch. I wish I'd stayed on to that summit longer. Or I wish I had got off that summit earlier. I mean, honestly, it's okay. Was there anything I could have done last week to make it a better experience? Then situations or tasks I did that I handled. And it says beside there, give yourself credit. And I love this one. What did I do this week to treat myself well? Honor myself. Today I pulled out my massage table and I put my PMF mat on it. So after today, that's where I'm going to go have dinner. That's just one little thing, right? It took me 10 minutes, but I was like, check, I've been wanting to do that since I got back from LA, So what is it that you could do? And these are just some of the questions. It prompts you and it asks a different part of your brain, right? You're asking some personal, some business, some super cool, right? And if I was a top coach, because we can all coach ourselves, I believe we all need them. I've used them. We need them. I love coaches. It's their job, not mine. I get to show up and receive. But if I was a top coach, what suggestions would I give myself about last week? Right? Because it's a book of betterment and it's a book of evaluation. It's not a book of judgment or shoulds like someone talked about. It's just like having some top performance results, thinking a way that the top performer thinks, right? So super cool, super excited. Now, for some reason, I see that Emily, either she's doing the freeze, she's kind of frozen. So I'm wondering if I see Dorothea's gone. So, she's coming back. There you go. There
Very
you
good.
are.
Yeah.
You were doing the freeze frame.
Yeah.
Yeah, off you went. You said your piece and you were done with it.
I'm
You
gone.
did your piece and you were done with it. Awesome. So there you go. There's just some things to prompt you. Now, are we going to be kicking off with our grand finale of Miss Kathy Holt, who's been taking us through some leadership tips? Or Kathy Holt is done? Is she giving us?
No, we got one more Kathy.
We got one more
Good,
Kathy Holt. So let's open up with Kathy Holt. And I see that our next speaker is in the room, and we're going to rock a little bit with some Miss Trish Springsteen. Awesome. Oh,
You ever felt the need to say something, but were anxious about the fallout of speaking up? I know I have those moments often, even after all these years. And after all these years on Earth, I have lots of ideas and probably some pretty strong opinions. I know that when I don't speak up, I often regret it later. My brain plays that game of I should have said this or I should have said that, and why didn't I? I still get anxious about speaking up. And I realize that there are always going to be people that like what I say and that don't like what I say. But I've learned that I feel better in the end when I say something. You are the expert of your lived experiences. Your perspective is unique and valuable. If we want a more diverse and equitable world, we need you to share your viewpoints and your wisdom with your world. It's those little everyday things that make you a change agent. You have what it takes to be a leader. It's a matter of becoming more aware of how you lead in your everyday life. And it's also a matter of sharing your perspective because it is unique and we need to hear it. You can change things that you want to see changed. Just step up, speak out. You'll feel better in the end.
all right. Well, thank you with that. That's kind of Kathy's grand finale. And I think I had shared with you earlier that she is an international speaker, author, and she clearly is a leadership coach that promotes women as change agents in leadership and decision-making roles. And she's put into the abundance basket, this incredible basket that keeps adding to a beautiful private change agent leadership call worth $400. So that's awesome. Thank you, Kathy. Da 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 da. I hope your move is going lovely. She's changing states. Okay, well, I see Miss Trish Springsteen in the room, and I think we should get at her. So this woman is you've seen her on our stages, and you'll be seeing her on our stages for a long time. Miss Trish Springsteen, she is a global confidence coach. She is a 19 times international bestseller. So what? She is part of the 262. We are so happy she graced our pages as well. She's a multi-stage award-winning speaker, and you see her globally. And she has an incredible gift for us that she's adding into that abundance package as well, which is your 60 seconds of courage, unlocking your potential to be a better you and to be more confident. And she's going to talk about that today. And that's the personalized session that she's going to be gifting into the abundance package. And Miss Trish Springsteen, welcome to the stage.
Hello, how are you? What a great morning for me and a great evening for you, because I'm from Australia, from Queensland. So my day is just really zooming along already. I've got about 10 to 15 minutes, yay, to share with you some thoughts. This planner that we're in, it's a top performance planner. And I had some time to myself to sit and think, what is a top performer? What is it that makes us a top performer? What are we aiming for? And then what is stopping us from getting there? I think all of us here would probably have several slightly different answers because we all have a different perception of what a top performer is. But some of the things I think that are characteristic right along is consistency, adaptability, communication, decision-making, confidence, resilience, all of those and more. Now, those are things that I would expect, and probably many of us would expect, would be normal things that we would have in a business. Wouldn't you say? Yeah. Actually, Probably not, because many of us start businesses for different reasons, and we learn as we go along. But one of the things that really rears its head is our mindset, our fear of being successful, fear of standing up, fear of being out there. And then there is that a lack of belief in ourselves. How can I be out there? How can I be a top performer? I can't do that. I don't have those things to be a top performer. There are those people I see over there in the corner, high up, that I bow down to, that influence me, that inspire me. Influence, inspire. I don't have that. I'm not an influencer. I just do my business. I just want to get out there. I just want to be a coach. I just want to be a speaker. I just want to have a book. I don't see myself as that. These are all little words that come in. These are all our personas. This is our perception of ourselves. And these are the things that stop us from reaching, unlocking our potential to be a top performer. Do you know, people, every single one of us has potential. We're all born with potential. We have that little seed, that kernel inside us that's just waiting to bloom. And that potential allows us to reach to be the best that we can be, to be a top performer in whatever area that we want. And why don't we have so many top performers? Why aren't we reaching that potential? Why aren't we watering that seed? Why is it shriveling up and dying inside us? I'm not going to give you those answers, because each of those answers is unique to you. I love uniqueness. For those who might not realize, I love purple. Extremely perceptive if you realize that. I love unicorns. I love you being the unicorn in your business. That means the answer to each of those is inside you. You have to look inside you. You have to look at what the answer to that. But what I am going to give and share with you are some of my thoughts in my journey to unlocking my potential. Because once you start to water that seed, once you start to look inside you, once you start to think, wow, you know, a top performer, I can be a top performer. You know, I can be me. And by being me, by embracing who I am, everything that I own, warts and all, I could be a top performer because I bring to my business a uniqueness that no one else does. Because I'm sorry, people, you can't be me. You cannot be me, because I own me. I own my area. I am freaking awesome in what I do. And I have no problems in standing up and saying that, because I'm me, I'm unique. It's just like I can't be Emily. Much as I would love to, having listened to all her tips, I can't be Deb because, oh my gosh, I'm so in awe in her power and in her energy. But I can't do that because I'm not either one of those people. But you can be you. You can own who you are. You can be the top performer in your area of influence, your area of expertise, your area of experience. So my challenge to you, water that damn seed of potential. Water it, water the hell out of it. Just give back to yourself. Look inside yourself. Let that seed of potential grow. Let yourself reach. And let yourself own being a top performer. Here are some of the things that I've worked on in my journey. Because a long time ago, and maybe not quite so long ago, I would never have thought of being a top performer. I would never have thought of owning my own business. I would never, ever have thought that I could be a speaker, that I could be an author. I was shy. I was reserved. I was an introvert. I had no belief in myself, no ambition. I did well in my work history because I was very good at delegating. You all go out there and I'll work from behind the scenes. One day I walked through a door into a room. It was only 4 minutes for me to walk through a door into a room. 4 minutes that changed my life. 4 minutes that set me on a journey that took me from that very shy, reserved person who had no thoughts of what she could do to who I am today. Yes, I'm still an introvert, but I know how to harness my energy. I'm not quite so shy, and I'm not quite so reserved. I believe in myself. I really believe in who I am, and I'm happy to own them. It's been a long journey, but those 4 minutes was walking into a room of people that reached out, supported me, pushed me, helped me. I'm talking mentors. I'm talking official mentors. I'm talking mastermind groups. I'm talking just where we are right now. People and women supporting each other, allowing you to explore your potential, catching you if you fall. That's why I'm so passionate about mentoring, so passionate about my journey. And along the way, I have what I call my 60 seconds of insane courage. It comes from one of my favorite quotes from We Bought a Zoo. And I've just taken it a bit and taken it a bit further. When I run into blocks, and hey, people, it's not a smooth journey. And even the top performers can all have that doubts every now and then. Life doesn't just go boom, 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 boom. It goes up, it comes down, it moves, it's flexible, it throws rocks in front of you. Sometimes it throws a lot of rocks and an avalanche in front of you. But what I use is my 60 seconds of insane courage. That's 20 seconds to acknowledge, where's that negative voice? That thing that says, I'm afraid, I can't do it. Stuff that says I'm procrastinating. The stuff that says, oh, I'm not going to say yes to that opportunity. No, that's scary. I haven't done that before. And stuff that says, don't make a decision. You have to follow through. No, not going to make any decisions. And that in itself is a decision, by the way, people. When you decide not to make a decision, you made a decision. Isn't that an interesting concept? That lack of confidence says, oh, I won't move. This didn't work. I'm just going to follow my business. I'm going to pack up my bag and I'm going to walk away. 20 seconds I spend acknowledging that those things have come in, because people, you can't work on something unless you own and acknowledge what's stopping you. So I allow 20 seconds in my little process to think, okay, these things are coming back in. Then there's 20 seconds to say, hey, I'm freaking awesome. I have third-party credibility. I can go and look at pages and pages of testimonials that are saying my perception before is wrong because these people have said I've helped them. And who am I to negate a third-party credibility? Who am I to say I'm just no good if I've got people coming to me saying one word, a sentence, something you said in your book has helped me? I have to accept that with gratitude. I've got awards. I've got books out there. 20 seconds to acknowledge the positive thoughts that I am good enough. I believe in myself. I can take an opportunity. I can overcome fear. I can make a decision because I did make a decision not to make a decision, so I can therefore make decisions. I am confident. And then 20 seconds to say, to smile, to look at myself, to take each day with enjoyment, to acknowledge that, yeah, I'll say yes to that. I'll write another book. I'll contribute to a book. I'll say, yes, I want to be on a summit. I say, yes, I'm going to a network meeting, and I'm quite happy to get up there and pitch and say who I am. I'm going to say yes to every opportunity that comes along. And I just recently said yes to a big opportunity that scares the crap out of me. Excuse my language, but it's absolutely frightening me because I'm thinking, I've got no idea how I'm going to handle this, but I have said yes. Because, you know, some opportunities only come along once in a lifetime. And if I let my fear stop me, then that opportunity may never come. 60 seconds of insane courage, people. 60 seconds of insane courage for you to run through what is stopping you from being a top performer, what is stopping you from reaching out and grabbing every single potential that you can have in your life. So face fear head on. Use short bursts of courage to overcome the mental blocks and step into action. Embrace the discomfort. Use those 60 seconds to seize the opportunities that others avoid, because believe me, if you're stepping out and others haven't reached your potential, you are far ahead of everybody else in that race. And don't forget, each of our businesses is unique. The pie in the sky is completely huge. It doesn't matter how many other people are doing what you may be doing, you can do your own uniqueness and be a top performer in that. Believe me, there are zillions of speaker coaches out there. I know, I'm a speaker coach. There are zillions of life coaches. There's zillions of authors, but there's no Trish Springsteen. There's no other person than me. So I can do my bit. I can make decisions. 1 minute of courage can transform your business, your relationships, your leadership. Think of that 60 seconds and reach out. And remember, each act of courage strengthens your belief in your ability to tackle bigger challenges. Each act of courage strengthens the potential for you to grow and to be a top performer in any way that you want to be. Forget about the definitions of what it is. Forget about other people who are top performers that may scare the blazes out of you thinking you can't match them, because you don't need to. You just need to believe in you and match what you're doing and share what you're doing to be the best top performer. And this planner is going to help you do that. Because along with all the other things that you may have heard in this session, the belief in yourself and reaching out and having the courage to take all of the ideas that you hear on your continuous journey, because each of our lives is a continuous journey. Every time we learn something new, every time we step out of our comfort zone and take that step, we are taking our journey to full potential and to being a top performer. So there's my challenge to you people. Are you going to allow that potential to be watered, that seed? Are you going to be the top performer you want? I bet you are.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. What a leaving with a challenge, ending with a challenge. But Trish takes many challenges. And so it comes from a big purple heart. Honestly, that's amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Wow. I talked earlier about Trish putting a private session. Everyone that you heard speak today has given such an incredible gift to this abundance package. We've got a few extra moments, and I'm glad that we do. So again, hearts, hearts, hearts. Jazz has jazz hands. Thank you, Trish. We're going to see you on the other side of the world next March. Hint, hint. Wait till October 2nd till we announce it to the world. But brave you are. Brave you are. Thank you so much. Look, we've got a few minutes, and I thought, there's been some of you that have been hanging on here for a while, kind of since we started. And I'm sure you can brave up. Look at the purple hearts. Nice job, Janet. Oh, look at you. Oh, look at you. Well, we're going to start with you. But, what did you learn today? I mean, the one thing about coming to an event or reading a book is sometimes just the gems that you've gotten, something that has stuck, something that you've written down. And if you heard me talk earlier about the power of writing versus digital, I hope you did. Your brain will be very appreciative. Your goals will accomplish better. You'll feel connected to your goals because there's not a screen between you and your commitments. When I read that, that was such a big deal. that was such a big deal about how you put things, you type things, and there really is a goal between you and that. But when you write with a piece of paper, da 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 da. I mean, I gotta put all this stuff on. Well, I'm a bit of a hashtag paper girl, but when you write it, there's a relationship that happens, and isn't that incredible? So look, I'm just going to kind of, there's some of you that have your camera off. If you want to put your camera on, I'm happy to ask you as well. But if you put your camera off, I'm imagining that you're having probably, your dinner of a lifetime. So I won't ask you. But was there something you heard here today that you're taking with you? So look at Miss Janet Purple Hearts. I'm going to start with you because you are in the planner. And if you want to share your quote and you're in the planner, please do. So Jenna, how about you? Something that you got from today, or you want to share your quote or whatever, girl?
Hi, everybody. I'm Janet Sawatsky with 7 Point Trends. And I am in the book. I am the week of April 28th to May 4th. And my quote is, "Be fierce, take it now, like a lioness would." And yeah, I really like the planner. I'm afraid I have a terrible cold today, so forgive me. I'm just coughing up a storm here. But oh, there was just so many things that I really enjoyed today.
Pick one. We let people pick one. Pick one that just like, ooh, you had to write down, even if you didn't.
Well, if I had to pick one, I'm gonna say, when Trish says that we have the potential to be the top performer in our area of expertise, that really struck me, and I think I'm ready for that. So thank you very much, Trish.
Woohoo! Purple hearts earned. Thank you so much. Miss Roberta Sky, did you hear something today that rocked your world? And you're muted. Just, yeah, you have to take yourself up. Muted. Oh, no, we want your camera back. Emily, are you able to unmute Roberta?
Hi, try one second.
There you go.
There you go.
I didn't mean to send her away.
Unmute, Emily.
Roberta, have you unmuted yourself?
I gave her the permission to unmute. I can't.
Okay.
I can just ask her to unmute. I can't unmute her.
Okay,
Unless
well,
you
Roberta,
can.
hang someone else, so hang tough, and you'll be the next. So how about you, Miss Carol? You look like you're all dressed up there. So did you hear something today, or?
You know what? Everything everyone shared was of such huge value. And if I need to choose one, Deb, you're so good. That's one of the things I'm going to say. One of the things you always remind me, pick 3 things for a week. Don't pick all 15. Choose, focus, do those. If you finish, you can add more. This planner is amazing. I have mine right here. And I thank you for getting us all together, and I appreciate what everyone. So I am narrowing down all the things I've chosen for the week to 3 things.
All right, that's awesome. Thank you, Miss Roberta. If you are able to come on, just show your face, and that'll give me indication to go back to you. I feel bad now sending you off to Techland. But how about you, SD? Was there something that you heard today?
Oh my gosh, there was.
Or your quote, if ladies, if you're in and you know your quote.
I don't know it offhand. Sorry, it's jumbled in there somewhere because I got way too much things in my head. Yeah. Anyway, I love the little finger exercise thing. That was a good little tool. I love the doctor and obviously the passionate work that she has with working with kids, which I always feel is such a calling for people that want to work with young people. But it's probably the most important work that we have. I loved all the inspirational quotes from the members here. And just honestly, just remembering that all of us is unique. I mean, that was messaging I heard from everybody, and to focus on what we do well and just stand out. I mean, you can stand out with what you know, and there's abundance in the world enough for everybody. So it's just a really great reminder. And to me, this is always such great energy when you get women together, because we're always so supportive and collaborative. And you're a driver of that, Deb. And I always appreciate I called you, Deb the Dynamo, because she's just so dynamic, and she's right here in my hometown, which I just love. So thank
Well,
you so
thank you.
much.
I love the facial I got before June 6th event. It was awesome. Thank you.
I'm back for more.
Leslie, how about you? The one thing that you heard that really drove home for you, or your quote.
Right. Well, so much great stuff, right? Always inspirational to be in this group for sure. So I'm just looking back. Yeah, and the dog's trying to eat my food, right? Well, you know, whose voice? Dr. Shahan, because well, like if you've been in my world even like a minute, you know, the voice in my head's always been Gloria Steinem. And that's why I connected with Deb. And Deb's right up there. Like it's God, Gloria, and Deb for me is the trifecta. But I also loved when you said, don't break the connection, right? Because not only is that true with trade shows, but I think sometimes we do that in other areas of our life as well.
Right on, right on. Thank you. And Miss Leslie braved up, and she will also be in LA in the early part of next year, Miss Trish and Leslie. Miss Roberta Sky, did you hear
Yes.
something today that you thought was great?
I was totally captivated by wearing a watch. I've done many trade shows and body work, and even so, a watch. Like I just beside myself running through an airport and don't know what time it is, and all the clocks are gone. There is something about, you know, just ease of staying in the zone. And I am happy to say my quote. I don't know where it is, but an open heart with a laser focus opens doors.
Ooh, let that one land. Jazz hands, jazz hands, jazz hands. Thank you so very much. Okay, Miss Liza Rogers, I know you've had an abundant day. Do you want to pop in? And I know did you hear something that inspires you?
I did.
All
yeah,
right.
yeah,
Or your
and
quote? Yeah.
and yeah, I can read my quote and just wanted to say, you know, again, congratulations to you, Deb. Lady, sorry I was here later. I had my own group, our end of month connection that we do, and you know, we were talking about some of the same things that you have been talking about, right? Collaboration, community, the power of women, planning for next year, right? I think for me, we're in the last quarter of 2024. And if we want success for next year, we have to get all of that planning done now. So the funnels, you know, Emily talking about Start Me Up. I mean, just a good reminder about I'm going to a trade show next week, Pacific West. There's going to be 5,000 people there. And I'm one of the MCs. So I'm going to meet a lot of people. I got to have a good mechanism to follow up. And yes, let me see. Can I remember my quote? I'm pretty sure I probably put in an open skylight. Sorry, hold on. I haven't said it for a while, so I got to make sure I get it right. The glass ceiling is an open skylight when you own the building.
There you go. Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you, thank you. Oh my goodness.
Great work, everybody. Can't wait to start using my planner.
Oh, awesome. I'll see you soon, like Friday, Saturday.
Yeah, for sure.
Miss Helen Glenn, you are kicking off your day with us. Hello, darling. Do you know your quote? Oh, look at this. So Helen bought herself a Natsukashi. Oh, you are great. Someone please take a picture. Dorothea, someone take a picture. So Helen bought a Natsukashi Emmys hat before we went to the Emmys. Smart move, because I'll tell you, Snoop Dogg's manager was wearing one. You had the Housewives of Beverly Hills with them on, and it was the place to be. So it has now become a very heavy commodity. It's a commodity. Wait till the one comes out for the Oscars, hint, hint. So you're looking especially fabulous. So darling, can you come off mute and tell us what your quote is, and or if you don't want to, tell us what you heard today, if there was something that, you know, caught your attention.
Thank you. Yes, I love the hat. Thank you. It is just
Thank
so
you.
celebrity. And thank you for posting it out to Australia. Really appreciate that.
Our pleasure.
There was so much that resonated with me today, and so much wisdom, so much female power that I felt in these speakers, that they are all confident
in what they're delivering to the world. And I also resonated quite a lot with what you are doing, what you have said, and what you are all about, Deb. You really inspire all of us. So,
Well, you do as well. And if you have not heard Helen Glenn speak or share, she has, I will say, a commendable story. This woman has a commendable story. She has rose above. She has rose above. So, anyways, and I encourage everyone to put their information if they'd like to have a conversation with somebody. Please reach in and do those private parts of the chat. All right, so let's move to Jen. Jen, what did you hear today that inspired you?
Hi. Sorry, I
Hi.
was trying to find my unmute. Actually, the reminder of putting pen to paper at the beginning, it's funny because I had a whole bunch of things to do, and I had told a client of mine to write everything down, and we did an exercise where we put all of her to-dos into categories and helped her get organized. And then I was like, well, I should do that for myself. So I literally yesterday wrote a list of everything I have to do. I've got 2 check marks on it, but one at a time, I'm going to do it check by check. So looking forward to checking out the planner for sure.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, good. And I mean, it's just a wonderful thing. Like you take something away, everything you go. And look at that. Helen, you got some competition because Carol's got her NII hat on. You too. Look at it. We are so cool. We're so cool. I'm going to go put my hoodie on. No, okay. Okay. Miss Christina Summers. Let's take a breath and let Christina share with her. She's incredible at breath. But what did you take away from today, my friend?
Yeah, so I got to mirror what everybody else said. There's so many valuable nuggets. And I think something that you said, not to mirror anybody else, but know why you're going. And I don't think that's just valuable for trade shows, but for everything that you're doing. We often forget the intention behind why we're doing what we're doing, and we just get in the routine of check, let's get it done. I need to remember why I'm doing what I'm doing and come from that intention of.
That's super cool. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Awesome. And Miss Kathy Bushnell, hello, my friend.
I'm sorry, when you were speaking earlier, I ate something for lunch, so I had to disappear.
No, that's cool. Eat.
I apologize. Okay.
We
Too
like
much
to eat.
information. Okay. Here comes the real information. I was very impressed of Dr. Shaheen Alihai. When she said, this is something I've never heard before in this way, about use your name when you speak to yourself. Don't say I, especially if you're being negative, like I can't do this or something. Instead, I would say, Kathy, you can do this or that. So that just resonated with me. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, that was a magical moment. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. So Carol Koppelman, you have a quote in the book. You can share that and or what inspired you today? Well, you're talking and we'd love to hear you, but you got to do this little thing. Take yourself off mute.
Yeah, there we go. Sorry. Yes, I do have a quote. It's fuse with God, not men, and your life will be elevated. That's my quote, and it's in the week of February 17th, I believe. I think the main theme I've heard through all, and I love every single speaker, was mindset. That's what I noticed. Mindset, believe in yourself, and I loved the quote about be true to yourself. I think I loved everything. So that's what I enjoyed. I just loved everything.
Awesome.
Thank
Awesome. I agree with you. The speakers were amazing. Thank you so much for coming into the planner. And
Mhm.
honestly, I'm going to ask everybody, reach out to the speakers, because even if You don't always have to reach out to a speaker to say, I want to buy your services. There's nothing wrong with doing exactly what we're doing right now. I'm sure it warmed Trisha's heart like yesterday's unicorn to hear that Janet had a magical moment with what she said. Because truly, at the heart of what we do is that. At the heart of what we do is that we inspire, we motivate, and we all want to know that we're making a difference, right? We all want to know that we're making a difference. And there's people that leave a lot of big jobs to go make a difference in the world at certain times in their life. So reach out to the speakers that you heard because they prepared for you. And no matter what summit you're on, no matter what thing you're doing, no matter if you read a book, like just contact them and go, fantastic. Loved page 64. You know, good year to be born either, but just love page 64, you know what I mean? Just showing that appreciation, or you're going to read a quote in the planner and you're like, that's freaking cool. People are not difficult to find. You can find them. And if you need to know someone on the planner, you can contact us. So thank you so much, Carol. Brenda, what did you hear today that you enjoyed?
There was so many golden nuggets, really. It was hard to pick one, but I was the same as Kathy. Replace the I with your name. It's like I'm speaking to myself, Brenda, So I'm going to be doing that from now on.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I loved everything you said, Deb.
Well, darling, we go back. We got lots of history. Thank you. I appreciate you. Dorothea, I don't know if you're working the back end, if you're able to come off or not.
I can come off, yes.
Yay.
I was just typing to Helen that we didn't get a picture of her with the hat and with Carol.
Okay, so you get to put it back
we
on.
should, we'll pin them both and get a picture with both of them wearing the hat. If you want to run and put on the hoodie.
I got a camera right here. Put it on.
Okay, hang on. Let's pin these ladies. Or Emily, maybe you can help me too. Helen.
All right.
Pin. Okay, and wait, and Carol Patrizzi as well. Where is she?
How do you know that we're talking to a team member here?
I got Carol.
Yeah.
Oh, you got Carol? I don't see her pinned on my screen, but.
I got it.
And I've got Helen.
All right. All right.
Yay! Thanks, ladies.
But Carol needs the hat.
No, she got the hat. She had the hat on. Yeah.
Oh.
There you go. So
Yes,
Dorothea, what was one thing that hit you today?
Well, I had the same thing as the lovely Kathy. To speak, when you speak to yourself, don't say I.
Mm-hmm.
Use your name and it softens what you're saying. So that really, really resonated. So thank you, Kathy, for bringing that up as well. And for Dr. Shahana, who's the one that shared that today. So.
Awesome. And Desi.
Hello.
Hello.
So everything that Carmel shared today really, really resonated with me, and I am definitely gonna work that in. And everything shared here tonight was really, really wonderful. I think there are so many golden nuggets that it's hard to choose. So that's my 2 cents there. And I do have a quote in the planner. My quote is that sales is not hard. Sales is very easy. It's just a conversation.
Right on, sister. Right on. And before we go and wrap up with Miss Emily Bassett, darling, I know you. We've talked a million times, Miss iPhone 62, and your name has just eluded me. So please say hello.
Hi, Hannah Schindler. How are you?
Perfect. I'm good. How are you?
Okay. Nice to see you again.
You too, honey. Did someone say something, or was there something that was said today that really inspired you?
Well, I mean, the whole group, what amazing women. I mean, I am just thrilled to be here, and I just feel like a calmness came over me as I'm seeing this event. I mean, we all have a story to tell, and just wonderful. Just all of them are wonderful women, and I'd like to connect with them. And also, how do I get your planner? You have a planner?
I do, and I think that the link is probably going to go in the chat right now because if you said that. So we have
Okay.
this beautiful planner that you can order. The link is in the chat. Please do. And anything else that you want, you know where to find me. I know you do. But
I
yes,
know.
the link is the planner. And also, if you're talking to someone, you can send them to the website. The link for the planner is on the website. Make sure you buy both because we have it for 6 month and 6 month, right? So it's easier to carry. So one's
Okay.
January to June and the other one's June to the end of the year. So make sure you get both. There's 2 different styles to choose from just in terms of cover. And if you want to be in the quote for 2026, there is a wait list there. We have over 100, I think there's about 120 quotes in this one, and we're going to squeeze in more. We're going to do it. So if you want to be in next year's, and next year, I'd love to announce that next year you can expect to see this planner 2026 in Indigo in small and big bookstores. Oh my
Wonderful.
goodness. Oh my goodness. And yes, it will. Yes, it will be handed out at some pretty cool events. So thank you. That was a lovely way to wrap up. We are going to, I know, right? Ta-da! Okay. So we're going to wrap up with Emily sharing her, oh, there you go. There she is. Joyce, you popped your beautiful face on just in time. We're going to hear from you, Emily, and then we are going to finish up with Rowena giving us her final organizing tip, and then she'll come back and we'll all get to say goodbye to each other. So, Miss Joyce.
Yes, thank you. Hello, everybody. It's been a great day, Deb. Thank you so much for all of this and all the ladies who spoke and contributed to the chats and everything. Today was actually perfect for me. I just needed to hear all of that mindset, especially belief, Carmel. The finger thing was, I forgot about that, but yes, I need to do that more of that. But the one that really resonated for me today, maybe it's because of what I'm going through, is from Dr. how to pronounce her name, with the I and replacing it with my name. So that's what a lot of these ladies have said as well. So that really resonated with me as well today. Thanks.
Awesome. Awesome. Incredible speakers, incredible messages, incredible things for personal and business. Emily, what inspired you today? And then let's listen to Rowena wrap us up, and then I'll come back and say goodbye.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like I have to give a shout out to the Itty Bitty Shitty Committee from Camille. Yeah, I think that it's such a good reminder that those like negative thoughts will kind of come in, but that it's not to spend more than 20 seconds on, and kind of recognize that it can't hold you back. So I definitely like that. And then even from Rowena, I believe as well, the turning the notifications off. I've been trying to do that more. It's very interesting trying to do it with a digital marketing agency, but I think there is something that makes you more efficient by being able to focus on your tasks at hand. And even just like minimizing them, I think has made a difference. So that was a good nugget as well.
Absolutely. Well, look, I know not all the
Well,
speakers are here, but I know that they're going to be listening to this. I want to thank all of the speakers. Congratulations to a lot of the speakers are making big moves in their life. Stephanie is launching a book. Dr. Shahana is launching her book tomorrow. Trish just took a big step and leap in her business. There's people making courageous steps. Stephanie is writing her second book. She's also made a big leap in terms of her marketing and promotions. Rowena is just out there doing it. Kathy Holt is changing the world for change agents, right? And I think Dr. Shahana, she really shared with us some things on an emotional level. Trish, you always inspire people to go beyond who they think that they are. It was just absolutely incredible. And I love listening to speakers like you, Emily, that give us those functional pieces, because you can want what you want and do what you want, but there's just things that you can do that make it better and easier for you. So I want to thank everybody who is here. And with that, let's wrap up with Miss Rowena List. Maybe. There she is.
Do you have a hard time parting with your clothes? Most women do. They like to keep the things that used to fit, or the things that might come back in style, or the things that if their lifestyle changes, they might be able to wear them again. But let's get real. Let's keep the clothes that currently fit us, the clothes that we feel great in, and the clothes that are in style for us right now. That's what you want to keep in your closet, in your working wardrobe, as I call it. It's a working wardrobe. And then you want to have great systems in place. I like to stack pants. So I fold them and stack them. I also like to stack t-shirts. Some people like to hang those, but I don't have the room for that. So I stack. Now, if you are trying to decide whether to keep something or not keep something, here's my hot tip. What you want to do is you want to take the hanger, and you see how it's facing this way, what I call the normal way. Well, now you want to turn that around and face it this way. At the end of a season, if you haven't used those clothes that are now facing in the opposite direction, it's time to pass those on with love. Send them to somebody else. Or why not have a clothing swap? That's where a lot of great finds happen, at a clothing swap. All right, so switch your hangers around so that they face this way. And then as you wear that item, turn it back to the normal way. And if you don't wear it in that season, then it's time for it to go to somebody else.
All right, what a great tip to end off on. Something fun. Now you can all start flipping your hangers. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the team, all supporting. Everybody was all hands on deck today. It was amazing. We will have this recording. We will send it out when we do. I'm not promising a date. But thank you all so much, and it's lovely. I can't wait to see you. Do not forget November 7th and 8th. We have, I still have the abundance basket to give away, so don't worry. We have an incredible summit, and what you saw tonight, imagine it all day, all night, every time zone. We're going to do that, and there's going to be incredible speakers for 20 minutes, and there will be thousands and thousands of dollars of gifts given away, and even the gifts that you got today of all the gem drops that happened for you. So if you'd like to speak, we still have spots in November 7th and 8th for speaker shoutouts and main full media spots, as well as we have room in the book that is going to be, again, handed out at a beautiful awards event. I can't tell you until October 2nd, so you can all call me the 3rd. And so if you want to come into the 262 book, we have room for you. Now, me and Emily were talking, how are we going to do this prize? How are we going to do this prize? So this prize is simply this, because if you have one, you can gift one. I like to have two. I always have two because I like my writing to be really great. So for the first person after this event that goes and purchases a planner, a full planner, you are going to win the Full Abundance $3,000 prize of experiences with every single speaker that spoke today. I am going to offer a second and third prize for someone who has never been on a stage yet, who's wanting to brave up on a stage. For the second and third people that purchase a planner, and if it's you, you have to gift it to one of your very special they haven't been on the 262 stage. It's an experience. It's a step up. It's a show up. It's a time to be proud of yourself. So for the second and third person who buys a planner, and you can send us the receipt and show it, we'll know who you are. Then I'm going to give a speaker shout out on the November summit. That is very, very televised and has lots of media attention. So either that's you, if you've never been graced on those stages before, or someone that you know. So good luck. I can't wait to see who wins. Thank you so much for being here today.